What are your thoughts about piracy? Are you against it? Oh, just like
Ano, GB,
Rodriguez
gusto mo
again.
ganyan ng
Pipilit lang
ganyan na
natin
lang natin
lagi
yung
sa
English
sinabi.
natin. Ganyan na lang
Ganun.
natin yung interview natin
May
sa
isang
kanya.
ganun. Wow! Hindi, habang nag-aantay tayo nung guest, mag-practice na kayo ni Nonong kung anong accent yung gagamitin nyo. Marami tayong accent. Marami tayong ways of speaking in English, you know?
Isn't it?
It could be... Pwede ganun.
Pwede ba si Johnny? Si Johnny English. Yung batang ano.
Kala ko tatawa mo sa Johnny. Yes, Papa!
Hi, I'm Johnny. You wanna play? Are you the director and writer? Right?
Isn't it?
Isn't it? Because my mom told me that I cannot talk to strangers like you. I was like,
Only Tito James can do that?
only Tito James can do that. Huh?
Isn't it?
Isn't it, Dad?
Oh, live na pala tayo.
Pag narinig ng mga fans niya, baka bata ba yung mga kausap mo? Actually, they're 33 years old and lalaki na.
Kailangan medyo... Pero nakakaintindi naman ng Tagalog, di ba? So, para siguro for a change, tatagalogin natin siya. Konsi lang. Siyempre, umpisa natin sa mga Tagalog na alam niya. Di ba?
Have you been to a fist fight?
They're like, hold your ear, hold his ear, and then he'll hold my ear, and then we say what?
Say what?
For 30 minutes. What? For 30 minutes until one of them cries.
Naka-live na ba tayo?
Oo.
Di pa, Mitch. Bakit?
Naka-Mitch pa rin ba? Sorry, guys.
Naka-Mitch.
May kikwento sana ako. Pero mamaya na lang, ha?
Sige na, kwento mo na. Okay lang yan. Alam naman
natin. Hindi pwede talaga. Hindi pwede dito.
Mamaya, sa after party mo na naman kukwento yan.
Hindi Mamaya, yung pagitan ng after party tsaka ng show, yun yung pinaka-juiciest na balita naman.
Nag-hint ka na sa kanila na merong after party.
Wala pala after party.
May Facebook chat naman I-chat
what
mo na,
very
Muman.
brave.
Tapan live, hindi pa na tayo.
Chat mo na, Muman, para ma-screenshot namin yan. Tapos gagawa namin ng meme. Bis na.
Yun, no? Alam mo, episode 143 pala tayo ngayon. 143, I love you. Kaya naman tayo nandito ngayon sa YouTube. Nagbabalik tayo sa mga cool pals namin. Alvin, Angela, James, namimiss na namin mag-solitaire. Nako, James, pasaksak.
Pwede.
Balik natin yung saksak ngayon. Episode 143.
Kung habang kumukuha ka ng kutsilyo, Muman, i-type mo na yung chismis mo. Tapos mag-react kami dito sa camera. Nanganaksak na si James. Alam mo, sakto yan, James. Sakto yan. Kasi yung guest natin, writer and director ng Dynasty Boys. Tapos siya yung tungkol sa gang war.
Oo.
Di ikaw lang yung kasali sa gang na nagdadala ng kitchen knife.
Habuli ka ng nanay mo para masukin.
Hi, James! Taka na, di pa ako tapos maggayat ng sibuyas. Pag-away ka na naman dala yung house knife.
Mamaya na yung away-away na yan.
May away na yan. Buo na naman itong mga sibuyas sa omelet.
Uy, may mga hindi na nakinig sa atin at simula nung nawala tayo sa YouTube kasi sabi ni Ebrilio Bersamina, tayo na upgraded na mga mic nyo. Ang tagal na nating may mic.
Ako lang walang mic na maayos.
Ang tagal hindi nakapanood dito.
Baka naman sa Spotify na nakikinig.
Oo nga eh.
Anong dating sa Spotify? Para na ba kami si Inka?
Welcome to The Cool Pals.
Alam mo, medyo hawig mo si Inka, James.
Ako ba?
Pag spaghetti strap ka lang.
Magmahaba ka ng buhok. Magmahaba ka ng buhok.
Saka spaghetti
Oo,
strap.
magmahaba kang buhok. Totoo, walang biro.
Tsaka nose ring. May nose ring.
Ayan yan, nose ring. Ayan.
Huwag naman yung ganyan.
Ay na,
Umama
para
si
kasi
Hitler
Hitler eh. Hitler.
Totoo, pag nag-long hair ka, medyo wig mo, James. Pwede kayo magkapatid.
Is that the trash bin? Gaganin pag asawa mo na pala si Inka, no? Pag nagtapon ka ng basura, kahit ka saan lang, is that the trash bin?
Ang hirap kausap mo si Inka sa telepono, no?
Oo.
Hi.
Kasi
I am...
siya din yung ano eh. Siya din yung sa yung sa ano, yung cannot be reached, di ba? Please, try again later.
Yes. Hi, I'm Inka.
Ikaw si Cinco.
Inkanto daw, sabi ni Bong Rebelde.
Si Inkanto.
And this is the Cool Pulse ASMR edition.
Kuha mo yung lips eh. Yan.
And we will be doing a George Stregan in ASMR.
But may likes. Teka lang, wait, James. James, dapat yung pang children's book. Teka lang, kukuha tayo ng children's. Jack and Jill. As read by George Stregan Jr. Oh.
This is Inka, and this book is Ako Ay May Titi.
Educational yan, ha? Ano na lang Inka?
Hindi niya kayang panindigan.
Ang ganda, no? Inkanto.
Masakit, hindi niya kayang panindigan yung nose ring. Masakit eh.
Ginawa niyo ba yun?
Pinipon
yung
ako eh.
Kumuha kayo
Alin?
ng ring, yung ring ng ganon, yung bakal, tapos babatakin mong ganon, tapos iipit mo sa ilong mo ganon.
Usually, ayun yung yung nasa susi.
Oo.
Yung bilog sa susi. Oo. Finally, nakanood ulit ng Cool Pulse Live. Congratulations sa'yo, ER Racoma. Ito na ang una at huli. Dito na kami magpapaalam sa inyo.
Bumalik lang kami ng isang beses.
Nakakamiss din, no? Makakarami kaya tayo ng YouTube bago mag-September. Kalahating, ano lang pala ngayon, no? August 14. So, ibig sabihin, ilang days, 2 linggo na lang, September na.
Putang inang yan.
Kaya,
bakit ayaw mo ba matapos yung 2020? Dapat
hindi, gusto ko lang makauwi.
Si James,
makauwi bago.
Hindi iniisip ko, parang putain na ganito tayo magpapasko. Hindi ba na tayo nakalabas ng bahay?
Hindi, pwede naman lumas ng bahay. Basta naka-face shield ka, naka-face mask. Tapos isa lang.
Kaso hindi na yung katulad nung dati na, uy tara, gimmick tayo sa Punta tayo, may mga
birthday kasi ni James, December 25.
Oo nga
kaya
pala.
Kaya problema.
Sabi mo,
kasi,
hindi ka naman James.
Sipin mo James napakasaya ng December 2020 mo kung sakaling wala pang vaccine. Kasi December 25, isa na nga lang ang regalo mo ng Christmas pati birthday. Tapos wala pa makaka-attend ngayon dahil may COVID.
Kaya nga, wala pang magbibigay din ng regalo niyan dahil meron tayong COVID. Aba, si Jobert Ryan Asenya, sabi niya, ganda ng episode ngayon. Sana may after party. Nang bola ka
wala pa nga eh.
Halatang
Gusto
bola
mo manalo ng tickets yan. Gusto mo manalo ng tickets sa August 29.
Gusto mo ng jacket? Joe?
Pero bago tayo magsimula, baka di tayo maka-plug. Kung mayroong mga tao dyan ngayon na gusto mapanood yung stand-up show namin sa August 29, ang Cool Pulse Stand-Up Special, punta lang po kayo sa Cool Pulse page. Nandun po nakapin yung poster at link. Sana po makapanood kayo. Nandiyan po lahat ng Cool Pulse, Muman, Rems, Nonong, ako, sa si James.
Yan.
Mm-hmm.
Tsaka ipa-plug ko na rin yung natin.
Yung?
Cool Pulse merch natin. Magkakaroon tayo ng sorpresang kulay ng ng hoodie. Kulay black.
Sorpresa, ha?
Sorpresa. Bagong kulay ng hoodie.
Oy, sabi ni Chakana Podcast. Pa-shoutout nung Chakana Podcast. Nanood kami sa August 29. Nakabili na kami ng ticket. Okay lang naman kahit di kayo nakabili ng ticket. Isa-shoutout pa rin naman namin kayo. Anong tingin nyo sa amin? Nangingi ng kapalit?
Baka may diamonds dito sa YouTube. Sige na.
Sige na, pa Malacanang naman kayo kahit comment lang. Sabi ni Ventilador, ang pagbabalik din ng background ni James parang episode 50 lang. Oo, sino yung...
Oo nga, no?
Sabing...
Nagre-reminis, umiyak yan.
Huwag ka naman umiyak, Ventilador, para namang... Hindi ka pa naman susugurin ng mga DDS. Pa-shoutout naman po, sabi ni Blackbeard. O sige, papa-shoutout. Pahingi din ng skin ni Nana, sabi ni Chakana Podcast. Ano ba yung podcast nyo, Chakana Podcast? Tingnan nga natin yung Chakana Podcast.
Chakana lang.
Sige, Chakana.
Chakana yan.
Uy, sabi ni Maverick Pasco, sent Malacanang ×1. Uy,
Thank you very much, ha. Ito rin ang thank you namin sa'yo, na kunyari lang. Thank you.
Si Ebrilio Bersamina, kunyari na nga lang, young pork lang yung pinadala. Young pork parang fantastic.
Kaya hindi pa sinagat din.
Sa Spotify lang kami, sir. Tsaka na. Sa Spotify lang sila.
Hoy, thank you.
Oy,
sana makinig pa kayo sa Spotify.
Ay, alam mo, tsaka na podcast. Matutuwa kami sa inyo kung nakapag-register na kayo sa Podmetrics dahil meron kayong podcast eh. Ay, hanggang episode 37 na pala sila, oh.
Sabi ni Elvin Paul,
Ninong
Nonong, isang hoodie na itim gusto ko sa Pasko. 1.5 lang, pare. 1.5 lang yan.
Ginarapal mo pa kami, Elvin.
Send by a Lalamove.
Pasko yun, no, Elvin. Walang trabaho kami. Walang trabaho tong mga to, oh.
Birthday pa ni James.
Birthday ko pa. Ano ba naman yan, Elvin? Uy, si Red Oliero pala, PNA na din. Mag-ingat-ingat din kayo dyan sa spelling ng PNA, ha. Huwag niyong pagbabalik na rin. Uy, si Red Oliero wala, NPA na din. Congrats!
Congrats o may congrats.
Sabi ni Ebrilio Bersamina, bakit ba laging cheesy ang pang-asar nyo kay Chino?
Kung naamoy mo lang siya. Kung alam mo lang yung amoy niya.
Di ba pinapaamoy namin yung daliri niya?
Amoy clover.
Amoy Humpy-Dumpy.
Sabi naman ni Alvin Angelo, James, biglang namamatay desktop ko pero bukas ilaw ng keyboard. Ano sira kaya nito?
Ulo.
Yung keyboard. yung keyboard ang sira dyan. Patayin mo yung keyboard.
O kaya picture tube. Picture tube lang yan.
Sabi ni Jobert, may cheese parati si Chino sa bibig. Ikaw nagsabi ng Jobert, tawag mo kami din.
Oy, Jobert, ikaw wag kang masyadong diyan. Walang cheese. Ano ba kayo? Pamajan.
Sabi ni Toby Kainglet, happy birthday, Olan. Putang ina, birthday pa rin ni Olan.
Ilang araw ba ang birthday mo, Olan?
Inang Sent Yamasitas Gold times 100. Uy, thank you very much, Maverick Pasco.
Ba talaga si Maverick?
Nagbago yung buhay namin dyan. Pinakinggan ko yung Class Clown, yung kasama sila James Lap Trip. Damian Lillard o Devin Booker?
Sa NBA
Hindi
ka man. Sa NBA.
Hindi ito yung klase ng podcast na yan, JR Gomez. Hindi namin alam lahat dito.
Ang hirap pala magkaroon ng podcast pag NBA, no? Pag off-season, anong pag-uusapan nyo?
Hobbies nung mga
hobbies.
Draft. Yung draft.
Parang si Kinito Henson. Si Kinito Henson, pati hobbies ng players, alam eh.
Di ba pag si Benji Paras, tinatanong niya ko anong ulam anong breakfast nung kasama niya sa announcer. Oo nga, James. Oo, tama yung sinabi mo.
Oo nga,
anyway,
teka lang.
ito tayo sa ibang topic. Sabi ni Random Guy, may guest po ba kayo ngayon? Yes, meron na.
Yes,
natin.
there is. Yes, there is.
Bakit ka nag-i-English, no?
Because our guest for tonight is spoken in dollar. Spoken in dollar.
Tayo na pa-scripted na tayo ng pa-scripted, no? Ba't ka nag-i-English, no?
Parang assist no? I don't know. Tapos i-assist ko ulit kay GB. Do you know GB Labrador? Why we're talking in English?
Ryan Morales, itong para sa'yo. Putang ina mo.
Putang ina mo, sinaksak ko. Putang ina, hawa mo.
Namimiss ko yung magmura ng ganyan. No? Tagal natin din nagmumura ng ganyan.
Sige, magmura ka ngayon.
Magmura ka,
Ilabas mo lahat dito. Putang ina, kantot. Putang ina mo. Kantot barurot. Putang ina yung lahat.
Busin
Tinggel.
na yan.
Pwede magsalita ng tinggel dito. Bayag.
Bayag, pagbungguin ko yung bayag at tinggil mo eh.
Nagsakto ang bayag tsaka tinggel. Pwede yan. Nasa YouTube naman tayo.
Magkano yung ganyang microphone? Siyempre, libre ito. Brought to us by Podcast Network Asia. Kung kayo ay affiliate ng Podcast Network Asia, wala kayong kaproblema sa equipment. Meron na kayong direct ball, meron pa kayong tsaka na podcast. Try nyo mag-apply sa PNA, Podcast Network Asia. Pero dahil sabihin nyo, tsaka na. James, saksakin mo si Muman, pababa na saksak. Gusto kong patayin ito, Muman.
Ano ba ang galit mo kay Muman?
Ako'y nasaksak.
Guys, GB, ikaw na talaga maglilid ha.
Nandiyan na.
Nasaksak ni James. Kakasaksak niya, nasaksak niya yung hita niya.
Putsang. Kailangan hita.
Saksak nga niya.
Hindi. Wini-wish mo ba?
Totoong kutsilyo ba yan nilalaro mo, James?
Oo.
Oo, totoo. Wala akong time bumili ng kunyaring kutsilyo na magagamitin ko lang pag nagre-record. Tsaka na podcast, may referral code ba kayo sa podcast Podmetrics?
Meron.
Araw-araw
Abangan
namin
mo mamaya.
Halatang hindi kayo nakikinig.
Abangan mo mamaya
hindi
yan.
kayo nakikinig ng Cool Pals.
Vlog box. Hindi naman.
KOOLPALS. Depende kung ano yung sasagutin mong tanong. Kung yung tanong ba nung 30 minutes pa, lag ka na.
Kanina ko pa tinanong yan eh.
Yan, mukhang ikaw yung lag kasi mukhang kami yung lag. Uy, si Jeff ay nagbabalik. Yun, nakanood din ulit naman kami. Pamura naman kay Jamie. Belated happy birthday. Jeff Barameda.
Si Bagong.
Barameda.
Inaayos na niya yung pangalan niya kasi tagal na nating nawala dito sa YouTube eh. Hindi na sila babalik dito sa YouTube.
Siyempre, nagko-comment sa iba yan.
Belated happy anniversary sa inyo ha, Jeff and Jamie.
Gerard Puentes, putang ina mo! Si Mark Binuel Mark Binuel Bragais, putang ina mo rin!
Sabi ni Dave, pamura naman, Muman.
Hi, Dave.
Sabi ni Carlos.
Kay Norman ka magpamura. Pamura kay Norman.
Norman, pamura daw.
Tangna mo, Dave. Tangna mo, Dave.
Wow. May sakit kasi. May sakit si Muman, kaya si Norman muna ngayon eh.
Alvin Angelo, hindi na ako naglalaro ng Dota 2. Pero putang ina mo! Jester Clown.
Pamura daw si Roylan. Roylan ba yun? Roylan.
Ano? Roylan? Ba pamura?
Oo.
Tangina mo, pag yan, ilong mo nakalabas sa face mask mo, pag naglalakad ka sa labas, tangina ka.
Oy, sabi ni Kevin Karandang, pamura naman, newbie ako, nasa episode 62 pa lang ako. Utang ina mo, bilis-bilisan mo, pukin ng ina mo.
Pag wala kang ginagawa, naghuhugas ka ng pinggan.
Alati ka pa lang ng putak ng paggas namin po. Kinakina mo
Manood
mag-face
ka.
ka.
Utangin mo! Utangin mo!
Nung, miss ko na yung mura na yung may pa...
Pigil na pigil ako dito sa bahay lang kayo.
Mukhang namura ka na ng ganun mo. Parang may nagmura na sa'yo ng ganyan.
Sa akin?
Si Nonong.
Oh, yung
Tangina ka!
Oh, yan.
Tangina mo! Tangina mo!
Yung murang ganyan, alam mo yung murang ganyan, meron yung
binaboy
may
mo ako.
kapartner yan. May kapartner yan at binabato yung
Lalaki
damit
yun.
sa'yo.
Lalaki.
Uy, tag dito. Pamura daw ng Vietnamese, sabi ni Toby Kainglet.
Putangin na mo, Bani. Putangin na mo. Putangin na mo, Vietnamese.
Alam mo,
Okay, pamura
topic
tayo.
ka? Ano nga pala topic natin tonight?
racism.
Racism, Racism tayo mamaya.
Ano naman ano tayo, nasa Asian represent naman tayo eh. Anong mura ni Jokoy? Paano ba magmura si Jokoy? Tangina mo, Joseph! Tangina mo!
Parang
Hindi
hindi.
ka pwede.
Si Babalo eh.
Hindi ka pwede mag-impersonator eh.
This is my hindi impersonation eh.
Impression.
This is my impression of Jokoy saying mura. Putangina mo, Joseph. Putangina mo.
How about
Papray. Meron
Joseph?
si Jograd. Si Jograd may bago dito, papray naman ako. Papray naman
Jograd?
ako. Bago sabi ni Jograd. Papray naman
Papray
ako.
naman.
Sana po ay patnubayan niyo po si Jograd. Amen.
Ilayo niyo sa lahat ng kapahamakan. Papray naman. Maganda yan pag nasa kumo. Papray.
Oo, papray na. Pag nasa kumo, papray naman. Napakabanal nitong cool pals na to.
Nga.
May
Invite kaya natin sila sa sa Worship Sunday.
Worship.
May pa-worship na. Cool Pals, pa-worship naman.
Pa-worship naman.
Pangarap ko pong mamura ni Sir Muman, sabi ni Adzila.
Adzila, manood ka ng gig ko kahit tadyakan pa kita sa dibdib, putang ina mo.
Gumagano si Muman, si Adzila.
Gumagano. Sabi ko, mura lang. Si Pasat Dibdib. Man.
Papray daw kay George Estregan. Sabi ni George.
Papray ka, George Estregan.
Natatawa na ako.
Sana nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan. In the name of the Father.
Aray ko.
Amen. Hindi ako makasigaw ngayon kasi may klase pa si Annie. May tinuturuan pa sa kwarto eh.
Tapos yung mga kasama, yung mga estudyante ni Ann sasabihin, asawa mo pala si George Estregan Jr.
Hoy, nandito na raw si Chris Soriano.
Ay, nandiyan na pala, nandiyan na.
Ano muna tayo? I-warm up muna natin siya. Pamura
Ano
tayo sa kanya.
Seashells by the seashore. Ganun.
Seashells by the seashore.
Alright.
Alright. Minikanico ni Monica, ang miniko ni Monica.
Kanya-gago na. Takot sa mga ugali mo din.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Good evening.
Hi.
Good evening, dito.
Morning.
Oh, morning and evening. How you guys doing?
I'm fine. By the way, this is
Doing
GB Labrador. And I'm James Karaan, and this is Nonong Balinan, and also this is
Hi.
Woman.
Nice to meet you all. I seen some of your stand-up, man. Good stuff.
Did you understand it?
Yep, I understand it all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yes na.
Very good.
Nice.
Okay.
So, we'll officially start the podcast, Chris. What we do is, since we have major lag because of the Philippine internet connection, so what we do when we we do the introduction, I will say welcome, and then James will say two, then each one of them will complete the sentence, and then you'll be the one to end with episode 143.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's our episode. Okay.
And,
Actually,
from
that's
one
right.
of the comments here, OK said, a moment of silence for Nonong.
Don't you worry, baby. Don't you worry, baby. I got my
Chris,
dictionary.
we will just speak in Tagalog. We'll speak in Tagalog more with you, okay? If that's okay.
Perfect.
And if you don't understand, Nonong will translate.
Yes, I bring my dictionary here. This liquor.
Sounds good.
Okay, we'll start the show.
Wait, GB. Let's
Wait.
simmer first for 10 to 15 minutes and introduce Chris to our audience so that he will be acquainted with the. Take it away, GB. What else? Because we usually don't record right away, Chris. We engage with our audience, and we are currently live on YouTube. So if you want, you can share it to your relatives and your friends and your followers, so they can also
Yes, no.
comment together with the.
Perfect.
Putang ina, nakakaintindi ka naman ng Tagalog, di ba? Chris?
Wala, hindi nila masikis eh.
James, all that you've said is bloody true.
British English yan si Nonong, Chris.
You know, Chris, they usually ask us to curse them.
Oh,
Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you say bad words, Chris?
yeah. Oh,
What kind
Oh my
of
God.
bad words?
That's a light. It's a light for me.
It's a
for
light at the end of the tunnel.
That's a little light from the tunnel.
for example, Chris, would you mind cursing on ventilador?
oh, sure. In Tagalog or
Whatever, man.
all right. Putang ina shit. I don't know, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Chris,
Thank you.
Chris,
Ventilador
we don't really
is
do
very
that,
happy.
Chris. We just tried it. If you're going to do it.
No.
You're the first one to curse. You're the first one to curse.
Yes. From the 143 episodes, you're the first.
Oh wow! All right, honors.
No, we're just kidding.
We're just kidding.
And also, James is not. That's really how he speaks in English. So please don't think that he is trying to poke fun of the English language. That's how he really speaks in English.
Like our
because we're
senators.
Tagalog show, so this how senators speak.
Yeah, Chris.
Okay. So we do
The
have
first
live
thing
chat,
that
we have live chat on YouTube, so you can check that.
Okay.
See, Chris, we don't have chemistry when we're talking in English.
It's like we're jumping up the boat, no? Kanya-kanya na ito.
143 episodes, no chemistry. That's the secret of our show.
Meron kaming chemistry.
Who?
Nice.
Who?
Natutuwa si Nonong yan. Oh, yes.
Yeah, don't be too don't go chasing waterfalls.
Well said.
By the way, Chris, where are you in the US?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay. So 6 is it 6 a.m.?
Yeah, it's 6 a.m. But I get up
6
at
a.m.,
3:30,
okay.
so I've been up for 2 hours. So
Nice. Just like the people from Cavite, from the Muman's neighborhood, they don't actually sleep at all because of too much meth.
oh dang.
They're up. Yeah, yes. Muman has been up for 2 days.
Yes, because at night the
Yes.
pusher and the user they met.
Okay. So best. Yeah.
That's the best
So
joke
as
we
you can
had.
see, Chris, this show is
for-
very stupid. Actually, I think Chris is now finally realizing the mistake that he made by approaching us.
Not at all. This is gonna be fun.
I'm just
Why
just
did
kidding.
you approach
we'll
us?
start-
We are
no, we'll start the show so that we can ask him all of the questions
Okay.
already.
All right.
So that we can
That's
start.
Brad.
parang galit
That's
eh.
bloody
Why
truth.
did you
Ano?
approach us?
Ba't ka galit, James?
No.
Okay. So, Direk,
Okay,
take
just
it away,
like
Direk.
we Valentin Soria here, which is our
He's our
director in the background, is commenting also in YouTube. Valentin says, "Hi Chris, message me if you need help." Oh my God,
That's bloody truth,
Yes. Yes.
isn't it?
isn't it? Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, Direk.
Sabi ni Jobert, bawal Tagalog please, Cool Pals, para mas masaya. Tangina mo, ikaw lang masaya eh.
Takina. Takina mo.
Jobert.
Takina mo.
Welcome.
Two!
The
Cool Pals.
episode.
Episode
please.
143.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. This is a very special episode 143 because with us is a Filipino-American writer and director, Chris Soriano. Please, Chris Soriano, please say hi to everyone.
Thank you so much. Good morning and good evening.
Hey, Chris.
So,
Oh my God,
For-
where is my beer? Where is my beer?
Your
Yes.
dictionary. Go
Yes.
find your dictionary, James.
sa mga cool pals, nakikita nyo naman na naghanap ng beer si James because gumagaling siya sa English pag nakakainom. Like
1 minute into the show.
all Filipinas. Oo, naghahanap na ng beer. But Chris can understand Tagalog. You understand Tagalog, Chris, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. So Chris approached us to help him with this movie coming out, the Dynasty Boys. Chris, can you tell us about the movie first before we divulge into?
Sure. The Dynasty Boys is about a Filipino lead actor that's growing up in America, and he's surrounded by racism and hate crimes because of the coronavirus. And so they try to figure out how to survive, and a lot of crazy things happen. But in the end, he promotes peace.
Nice. So this is a Filipino lead, huh?
Yep. Trying to put
okay,
more
good.
Filipinos on the cinema.
Nice.
That's
Can-
great.
Gibby, can we show the trailer to the Cool
The
Pals?
trailer, yeah. Direct Val, can you please let's watch the trailer.
Oh,
Very
this
nice,
is you. This is you. You're also the
Yes.
star.
Yeah. Yep.
They're not gonna stop bullying us. Blacks don't like us.
Hey, where you from? COVID looking ass.
The Mexicans don't like us.
You in the wrong place at the wrong time, Chino.
So what are we gonna do?
You really think we can take these gangs out? You know we're gonna be the most hated people on the block, right? We're gonna need some protection.
You want to know how to run a city? Get them hooked.
How do you do that?
Sex and drugs.
Blacks, Mexicans, Asians, all going at it?
What do you mean?
We're looking at a potential war.
At 13, I was almost killed by neighborhood gangs. I grew up in a rough area where you always had to fight to survive, and there was war going on between the Mexican, Black, and Asian gangs. That reality that I lived, I created into this film to show the world at-risk youth and Asian Americans like me come from. As a writer and director of Dynasty Boys, I wanted to create a film to show the struggle of these young Asian Americans and how they try to stand up against the gangs that bully them every day. In the film, a big war breaks out, which eventually leads these gangs to try to work together to find peace. With everything happening in the world today, peace is harder and harder to find. Asians are getting bullied with the coronavirus, Black people are fighting against extreme racism, and the country just seems more and more divided every day, from bullying to racism.
So that's it. That's the movie trailer. Is the movie already finished?
No, the movie's not finished yet, but we're still shooting it despite this pandemic. And it's been really challenging, but we should be done by November this year.
Why don't you have a face mask in the movie?
No. They're being a little rebellious with no masks, but pretty soon
So the movie is loosely based on true events, or how is the story in your movie when it comes to the gang war? Did the Filipino Americans and the Asians really come together, or?
So the movie is a fiction, but it's based on what's happening today with this virus and these protests, and also the racism that's affecting everyone. It's a unique story that I just tried to, at the end of the day, put a moral lesson that, you know, racism and any form of, you know, disrespect on any culture is not a good thing. And so I kind of want our characters to show that.
Yeah, what's the current status of racism in the US? Is it worsening than ever before?
Yeah, for some reason, you know, it's getting you know, pretty bad. You know, just the other day, I remember even going to the gas station, and this has happened to multiple people where, you know, I'll be pumping gas, and, you know, whether it's a different race, they'll see me, and these are younger people saying, you know, oh, make sure you wear your mask, you know, when you're around them, you know, and them meaning, you know, around who, you know? So I was born in San Diego. I'm a proud Filipino American. My mom's from, you know, Pampanga. My dad's from Manila. I have no coronavirus. And so, you know, I'm like, what's going on, you know?
Oh, so the COVID, the virus has turned into a race issue now. It's not even a government issue. It's just simply race issue. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. You know, if you look Asian, you look Filipino, they'll think you have coronavirus for some reason. Some people, I'm not saying all people.
Yeah. We've seen some newscasters, Filipino newscasters, being shouted at by passerbys, you know, just saying that they're the carriers of the virus, and also it's pretty tough there, you know, being Asian in the US right now.
Yeah, you know, it's a different time.
But you know, like, But how tight is the Filipino community compared to other communities in the US when it comes to this? Do Filipinos come together when there's too much racism going on in the US right now?
Yes, at first, the Filipino community is more like, don't worry about it. It's just a small thing, it'll go over. But then, when more hate crimes are happening, I think, in LA, a Filipino lady or Asian lady was punched in the face by, random people. You got the old lady in New York who set on fire. So I think they kind of categorize Filipinos as like, they're just Asian, So, yeah.
I think that's one of our curses as
What?
No,
What?
are
like
you
Filipinos actually we pretty much look like every Asian person in Asia. Like some of us look like Korean, Chinese, Mexican. So yeah, we're the easy target also when it comes to these. But as a Filipino American, have you visited the Philippines before? Have you been?
Yes. I visited, Pampanga as well as Cavite. Like I remember going to these places at 13 and just really enjoying it. My mother took me there and I had a very good time.
So it's been a long time, huh? Since
Yeah, it's been a while. I hope to visit soon. I hear a lot of interesting things are happening and, I want to check it out.
Yeah. GB, take it away again.
How about Chris?
My action plan tonight is just to leave every 5 minutes. So this is the 5th minute. So I'll just leave again, and then you just continue your conversation.
Chris, has it always been this way, or did it become worse since Donald Trump became president?
Oh, great question. I feel like it's been worse since the coronavirus hit. That's when the people that never experienced racism all of a sudden is a target, and it's just one of those things where you could be an innocent bystander until somebody, says, "Hey, go back to your country," and then you're like, "Okay, where do I go?"
Yeah.
Tagalogin na natin.
Please.
Wait, I'm just gonna check myself. I'm still here, actually.
Chris, you talked about a little bit on your trailer that you were biktima ka nung nung racism nung bata ka, 13 years old, you were hit by a gang. Can you tell us more about that, your experience?
Sure. Yeah. At 13, I was just walking to the grocery store here, and a group of gangsters, picked me up. They said, "Hey, you want to hang out with us?" And then I said, "Sure." I'm the only child growing up. I wanted friends. I wanted older brothers. Somebody to really look out for me. And I didn't know that night was going to change my life. They take me to a park. They surround me, and they said, "Hey, if you want to hang out with us, you got to fight this guy." And I said, I don't want to fight nobody. I just came here to hang out. And then pretty soon they just kicked me at my feet. I fell down, and then all 10 people just beat me up. And then after that, they said, "Welcome to the family." And then I was like, man, just in an instant, my life changed. And at 13, I became a gangster. I didn't even know, I don't know anything about gangs. And so, that moral lesson and the war between different races and how we have to protect our own, and it was a weird way to grow up. And so my mother homeschooled me to protect me from all that. And that's kind of how I live my life.
Are they white?
Oh yeah, no. Mexican, Filipinos, and different races, but mostly Mexican, Filipino.
So I saw that you opened your mouth. So you continue it.
I think that's the 30-second massacre. The one that Chris Soriano telling to us. They gonna beat you. Yeah, they gonna beat you, and then after that, they welcome you as a member. Do you have the hirap o sarap?
Are you familiar with hirap or sarap? It's
harder.
a choice.
Yeah.
Is that what it means?
Are you?
No. What does it mean?
No, it's pain or no gain.
Explain it first.
Ano
Pain
ibig
or
sabihin?
pleasure?
Yeah, it
Ah,
happens
yeah.
when you join a gang. It's either you get beaten up or you have sex with them. This usually happens if you're a girl who wants to join a gang.
Oh wow, gotcha. Yeah.
Then Chris said, "Hi, you
Or
can
if you're
have sex
Nonong
with him."
Balinan.
I got beat up.
Because Nonong is a very famous celebrity.
What's your ano yung mga memorable na gang fight sa'yo?
One of the memorable one was me being told to fight a group of people, and I knew that I was not going to win. You know, I'm not Bruce Lee, but I had to go and fight, and I got beat up, and that was the end. So I didn't win, but I guess courage is moving despite knowing you're going to get beat up. So,
Chris, what's the name of your gang?
oh, I'm not allowed to say it, just because, they're still out there, they're still active, and, I don't want to, rekindle any loss.
Was it hard for you to leave the gang? Do they make it hard for you to leave the gang?
I never really left, and that's the crazy part, because when you leave, you just, some things happen to you, so you just kind of go about your way, and they do their thing, you do your thing, and I'm a proud, faith Jesus follower, so I just, Jesus is my gang now. I follow God.
Nice.
So Jesus is a gang member. That is a very controversial statement, Chris, huh?
I think
the
James,
initiation right there is you
the
have
hand
to-
sign of
There you go. This is the initiation.
Wow. What will you say,
Jesus
no?
Christ. If Jesus Christ had a gang, I think the hand sign of Jesus is like this.
Chris,
Go ahead, Muman.
how deep were you in the gang culture? What was one of the worst things you have done as a gang member?
Sure. Nothing too worse, just fights. At 13, that's where they mold you. They try to shape you and build you. So, if you're a young kid and you're not an active, you're just a soldier. So that's as far as I got, nothing crazy, no killings, no stabbings. Once again, I was just picked up, and, I'm sure they do this to a lot of other kids. So some make it up the ranks and some don't.
How
did any of your gang members actually approach you when they saw that you're making a movie about gangs? They were like, "Hey, Chris, remember me?"
Yeah. Much like that. It was like, hey man, that's awesome. So it's like, all right, and you go about your way, and you're like, I hope that's it.
Oh, they are supportive. They are supportive. Huh?
Are they did they bug you and they say that am I playing anyone in the movie, or is there a character based on me? Is any of your gang friends ask you that?
Oh yeah, no, they just kind of,
and then you tell them, "Oh, you're the guy who gets shot in the back."
No, nothing like that.
Nothing like that. Okay.
Chris, are you still friends with some of your former gang members?
I just kind of keep my distance. I lived my life, and I'm on a different path. So I respect them, and I go about my way. I don't cause any trouble, and I just try to promote positivity. Okay. Yeah.
So you don't reminisce with old gang members, like back the time that we used to beat an old people. Yeah, that was a good time. Yeah.
Yeah, no reminiscing for me.
Do you have any attires for a gang member?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wear certain clothes and colors, but when you don't involve yourself, you don't wear the colors, and you just wear normal clothes. So
when it comes to making movies, Chris, is this the first movie you're making and writing?
Yes, this is the first one. I put all my efforts, everything you saw in that trailer was all done for free, from actors here in LA that we're not having any jobs because of the COVID effect all of Hollywood. So I pretty much got these actors together, and I said, if we're not going to do anything during this coronavirus, you know, we're not going to have any opportunities. And so, you know, I went up to every single one. I said, let's make this movie because we're not doing anything. And the biggest fear was, we might get coronavirus. And I said, no, we'll take proper precautions. You know, we'll wear our mask when we have to. We'll keep our distance. I'll make sure the angle of the camera is farther away so we can get closer. So yeah, that's pretty much how it all happened.
Now, speaking of Filipino American, I just want to ask about being Filipino American writer, director. Were there any influences from the homeland, like from the Philippines? Any actors or directors that you were inspired by, or that you tried to watch and
Absolutely. Mikhail Red, you know, I saw his stuff, Dead Kids. I even reached out to him, you know, for inspiration. I said, you know, I really appreciate your work. I emailed his father, another filmmaker. You know, that's where he learned his skills, right? I mean, maybe they passed it down. They helped each other. And his father connected me with Mikhail. And, you know, it was just a random email I sent. And I said, wow, this is the beauty of connecting with, you know, fellow Filipinos that have so much talent. You know, we're here to help each other. And so he was very nice. Both of them were very nice.
Yeah, speaking of positivity among the Filipino communities, what other traits that the Filipino communities in the US how do they show their support with for each other? So we usually do a top 5 Filipino traits on how they support each other. Can you give us some?
Sure.
Hey, can you back up me? Can you back me up here?
so
ano ba kasi ininulat ko? Wait, Chris. I'll just check my notes here. So, yeah, that's it. Ano yung mga paano pinapakita ng mga Pilipino yung
based on your experience?
Suporta nila. Based on your experience here.
In America, right?
Yeah, in America. Fil-Am.
Yeah, well, the Filipinos here, I feel the way they bring each other in is through collaboration. So, like for instance, Jessica Sanchez is a good friend of me and my girlfriend, and you know she's been like very collaborative on this film. And so she'll say, you know, hey, I support you. Is there anything I can do to help? You know, just that reaching out and that humbleness is, you know, I know there's some mayabang Filipinos and stuff like that, but I think there's also a lot of artists that are very humble. And so that's one of them. Another way Filipino Americans help each other here is they look at the art that you're doing and how it could benefit someone else with a bigger, larger audience. And that's leverage. They'll try to leverage and help each other that way. So those are some of the few I could think of at the top of my head. And also they're just very giving, but the Filipino, like the people, like in the Philippines, the way they help I've seen is just super humble, super like, for instance, when we were filming this film, we had, you know, we did it all for free, you know? So the local Filipino bakeries and the food shops donated us so much food so we can eat, you know, siopao on our break, or, you know, this wasn't gourmet, you know, any food. It was like the best Filipino home meal we can have while we were acting and while we were trying. So it was really nice. We even had like top silog, long silog, you know, everything we wanted, man.
Nice.
James.
Nice. Sorry. I'm waiting for anyone to jump in, but I guess this is me. This is me. No one wants to back me up, huh?
No.
Anyway, Chris, you told a while ago that aside from the mayayaman na Filipino, are there any negative traits of Filipinos there that make it hard for the other Fil-Ams to live in the US, like what we used to call crab mentality? Is it rampant there? Yeah, that's the end of the question.
So negative experiences that American Filipinos give. I think.
Do you know crab mentality, Chris?
Are you familiar with crab mentality?
Yes, I believe the crab mentality is they don't want to help people that come here. Is that it?
No,
they pull you down.
They try to pull you down because they aren't happy to see another person to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially a Filipino like them.
Well, I've heard stories, you know, in my life. I just haven't experienced, you know, these type of people. I've met people that say, yeah, you know, I want to pull you down. But, you know, that's, you know, with any race, you know, I feel like that's just it depends who your circle is. So if there is any negative traits, let me think. Maybe it's a like competition. Like I know some other Filipino filmmakers out here that, you know, but it's friendly. You know, they'll tell me straight up, like, you know, you better watch out for my film because I'm going to blow you out of the water, man. You know, that type of stuff. So it's more in your face. Like they talk
more of a healthy competition, like what you said, not really like negative, like yeah.
Have you experienced bad mouthing?
Like
backstabbing.
Like I've experienced bad mouthing. Like if I could curse on here, I'll be the first one. But your film looks like shit. You should have done this or you should have done that. And I'm like, all right, man. You know, we'll see.
How do you handle that? Fuck you. I'm in a gang.
The way I handle it is, I don't know. I have a saying that I learned from my military friends, which is don't talk about it, be about it. So, you know, I don't talk, I just create. So.
It's a really good.
Yeah, that's pretty good, trait. Yeah. Any more questions here?
No, I'm curious now. Like Chris, what was the last Filipino movie you've watched or you've seen? It could be a recent one, or it could be what was that?
Birdshot and Dead Kids and
Birdshot.
Yeah.
All in Netflix.
Birdshot.
Yeah. I know.
Have you
seen a Star Cinema movie?
Have you watched Ispikitik Walastik Kung Pumitik?
No, I haven't seen those. I should. I remember. I used to.
You should watch some Filipino comedy movies from the 80s and 90s.
All right. Make some recommendations. You know, I'm gonna watch.
Chris, someone is asking for press one here because they want me to ask question to you.
Press one.
Press one for
go.
Nonong to ask a question. Okay, Chris, did you eat?
Yes, I just have coffee and oatmeal in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
No, that was it.
That was it. That's bloody true.
Do you still live with your parents, Chris? Do you still live with your parents?
Oh no. You know, I'm here in LA, so I'm pursuing my dreams. So yeah.
Are you married or are you single?
Oh, I have a girlfriend. I proposed to her to become my wife, so she's my fiance, if that's what you will. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Chris, paano ka nakapasok sa paggawa ng pelikula?
How did you enter making movies?
The Dragon.
Mas nalilito siya pag nag-English ka, James eh. Mas okay na yung question ni Nono.
Yeah, did you understand the question?
Yeah. I entered in the movies. I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino, and he says, you know, you don't really have to know too much to get into the movie industry. You just have to know what you want. And so when I heard that interview, I said, wow. And he said, you know, when he started, he was working at a video store, you know, just renting out videos. And he became one of the greatest directors because he had a vision. And so when I heard that, I said, I'm moving to LA. I'm going to pursue this dream. I think I know my strengths. And one of my strengths is being resourceful, finding people and finding a way where there's a good win-win. And so I moved here to LA with nothing, no camera even, not knowing what a lens is from this, but I knew the vision. And so that's what I communicated to my camera guy, to my actors, to everything. And so that's how I got into filming.
Is your crew and your actors are all Filipino?
Oh, no, they're diverse. We have Filipinos, we have Mexicans, Black people, like every race.
It's nice that you mentioned Quentin Tarantino because he loves Filipino movies. Actually, he's a big fan of Eddie Romero.
Oh wow, what a blessing.
So for you to be inspired by him and him being inspired by Filipino creators and directors, actually it's like a full circle right there. So it's so nice to see that. But as a again, as a director, when you write stuff, is there any Filipino actor that you want to work with? Who would that be like?
Oh man, we're still trying to cast the mother in this film, and
No can play the mother. Mother role. No, can you play the mother?
Sure, why not? That's bloody true. Because I also have boobs.
No, I'm sorry for cutting you, Chris. Go ahead, please.
Oh yeah, no. I really saw Chris Aquino or someone like that playing the mom of the character, and it's kind of weird, acting in it while also directing it. And one of the very reasons why, I even did that was because number one, we can save a lot of money that way. We don't have to pay another actor. And number two, Filipino American, we don't see too much in the cinema. And number three, I could really portray the story since I've kind of lived it. And I felt like that'll save so much time in the learning curve. So I have to find a mom that could look like she could be my mom in the film.
So you think that it's Chris Aquino that can fit that?
Or yeah,
kind of look like Bimbi, Chris. Huh?
That might be.
You kind of like a Bimbi.
I'm thinking something that looks more Chinese, but Filipina. So I don't know, because people think sometimes I look Chinese. I mean, apparently all these people that sometimes throw racist comments when I'm pumping gas think I'm Chinese, whatever. So, but I respect every race. Yes.
Yeah, Chris, let's go back to your movie and the issue of racism, because this is the first time that we'll be going to talk about racism here in the podcast, because I saw in the trailer that there are different kinds of races and different gangs per race. So do you think there is a hierarchy of race in the US, and how the Filipino race is in that hierarchy, if there is any hierarchy?
Yes,
I'm assuming that the first one in the list is the whites, the Caucasians.
Yes,
and then after that, what do you think? Which race comes second?
Oh wow, yes, I feel sometimes when I grew up, I used to think that, man, there's a hierarchy of race, white people and then minorities. That's all it was. We're all equal. And then, but then, as I got older, I went to college, I started being educated. And to see a hierarchy depends upon the person. So for instance, me now, I know a bunch of white people that are not doing anything with their lives. They're trying to, whether it's they're doing drugs or they're just, living a whatever life. I also know a lot of white people that are, have a lot of businesses and they're doing well. So to look at white people and say, categorize them all as, that's the hierarchy. I don't do that now. Now I just say, the hierarchy, it like shifts every day. It's like a stock market to me. And what I see is sometimes there's Asians that are higher than whites, or whites that are higher than Asians. In America, it's so diverse that you can see a guy pull up in a Lexus, a white guy, but then a Chinese person pull up in a Lamborghini next to that white guy. And then a black person pulls up in a Mercedes SUV. And you're like, who here has money? I never really know. So sorry to answer the question.
And a Filipino eating lumpia.
Yeah, there you go. Filipino eating lumpia. I don't see hierarchy anymore to answer the question.
Okay, so it's okay because the impression from the Philippines is that's why I asked that question, is because our impression is that
because James is racist. That's why he asked that question.
Yes, and I want to know from you on how do you determine if a person is racist? Do you see it from outside? Are there any top 5 qualifications if there is if a person is racist? Let's say if the person is wearing a white hoodie that is
there's a cup
and then holding a torch.
Not a ghost. That is not a ghost.
Is he a racist or is just a fashion sense? No?
Chris, if you make jokes about race there in the US, are you considered to be a racist? Because here in the Philippines, we make jokes about races every time, just for the heck of it.
Yeah, you see, that's a great question. Both questions that you said, what are qualifications of a racist, as well as if you make a joke, are you a racist? I think, with stand-up comedy, what even some of you do is such a beautiful thing, because in America, we appreciate also the freedom of speech. So, if you're going to say a joke and it's a joke, I mean, take it for what it is. It's a joke. I think a racist is determined by their actions as well as their words. And so, that's my answer to that.
Yeah. wait. I'm just. You know what? I'm scanning my our Instagram because one person messaged us. We usually label it as an essay if there's a rant when it comes to one of our episodes. If we are if we are borderline offensive or we have offended anyone. So there is one message here.
There was this one time.
Yeah, one time that it came from a person living in the US also. And I can't find it anywhere. What is the name of that, Nono?
And
basically,
go James.
Yeah, because
you want me to explain?
No. I'm searching. I want it to be
verbatim.
Verbatim. Ay, yan. Itapik nyo naman ang racism at colorism. Ngayon, lalo na at panay si James sa pag-joke ng kulay ni Nonong, colorism na yon. So, can you teach us what is colorism and what is racism and what is the difference between those? Because we want to be a better person. We don't want to be a racist in each of episode that we have, and we don't want to be labeled as something that is not us. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. I just think the obvious or the simple thing is when you talk about people with different colors, like, oh, that guy's dark, they'll never be as good as the light-skinned people. I think you could go into that territory. But like if you're talking more so of like, all, I don't know, Filipinos just love, I don't know, lumpia, that would be, racist, because that's not true, right? Not all Filipinos like lumpia. I mean, whatever. So when you generalize a certain race, you're going into racism territory. When you talk about color, whatever, you're darker, this and this and that, you get into that. So
if you generalize, that is where you become labeled as a racist or a colorist. Is that a word, colorist?
Colorist? I've heard it in terms of editing. When I color, oh yeah, so I've never been. I've never been called or nobody's ever said, "Hey, are you colorizing that person?" But I'm sure it might exist. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think. Did you understand the message? Because he is ranting or he is complaining about me, always teasing Nonong about his color. So Nonong, you are so black.
Even people from Saudi, James.
Let's just focus on Nonong first.
And after that, James, after that conversation, I messaged that person. Then I said, after this message, please loot me a bunch of Nike.
iPhone.
No, I think you can call it whatever. It could be racism, colorist. You're a racist. But the root of all of this is hate. So if what you do is because of hate, then it could be categorized as racism or anything like that. But in our case, since we're friends, when we joke about things like this, there's no hate when we joke about Nonong or you. So it comes out as a joke, really. So,
you could have told us that, GB, when the issue came up. You could have told us that.
No,
James didn't sleep for 2 days because of that.
I was deriving from also what Chris said about us being comedians.
O, kung kaibigan mo na yung tao, okay lang na mag-joke sa race niya?
It depends. It depends if they, you know your friends more than anyone. So it may offend them if you say something that they're too touchy about. So to me, I just avoid those kind of jokes with any race. Maybe when I was 14, 15, yeah, I'll talk about race all day. But the older I get, the more, I guess knowledgeable I get that, some people are going to be really offended. But the friends that I know that don't care, I'll race it up all day, just joking with them.
Oh, right. Yeah.
See?
Because Chris, there is I think Filipinos here in the Philippines don't understand yet the racism fully. They don't fully understand it yet because there is also an instance here that one of an influencer said the N word.
Oh, right.
But he was just uttering a lyrics from a song.
Okay.
But he was already being canceled on Twitter because of that incident. So from that example, do you think
it was
is
justified?
Right? It was justified that he was canceled because of that incident?
I feel that if somebody is going to say that word, and offend someone, I mean, if you're Black, I guess you have, the approval to say it. But I know even a lot of Black people that don't even say that. They just, it depends upon the person. Quentin Tarantino writes that stuff in his scripts all the time. Like there's like 300 N words in his scripts sometimes. So it depends on the motive. Is it fair that he was canceled? I mean, some people think it's fair. Some people think it's not. I don't even know, man. That's a tough one because if I say it's not fair, people are going to be like, "Oh, Chris." If I say it's fair, people are going to be like, "Man, is this Chris guy a racist?" So I don't know. That's a tough question.
So even if it's in a song,
if it's in a song, I mean, there have been times, when I was a kid, I would hear rap. Of course, you're rapping along the songs. You don't know what's right. So I mean, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
So for you, if there is a lyrics that says the N word, you will skip that one, personally.
Oh man, for me, it's a tough one. I mean, I've listened to it. I've heard it. Who hasn't came across a line in a song and jumped over?
I think that's when you just put on the air conditioning in your car and then you sing along to it by yourself, but not in front,
don't
not
video
when
it.
there's not in a crowd or while riding the bus or in the train.
Exactly.
Right?
Because I really
sometimes
want
with rap
because
music,
GB
sometimes you feel the music also when you feel what he's talking about and just rap with it, and then you just sometimes you blurt it out. But when someone calls you out, then I guess that's the time you stop. But when you do it in the privacy of your own home and just enjoying the music, I guess there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Like,
but because GB, sorry, Chris, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like for instance, in that movie with Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker and Rush Hour, and he goes, "What's up, my man?" And then pretty soon they get in a fight. I mean, what makes that fair for Jackie Chan to even say that, and nobody's saying cancel culture on him? Oh, because it was in the context of comedy. Oh, so a guy saying it on his own in a song. I guess that. So there's boundaries. I guess I'm still learning the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you're already in the US and you're still learning the rules. How about we in the Philippines? We still do not fully understand the rules yet.
We may never understand it.
We may never understand it. And I'm really curious and I really want to know and I really want to learn if there is a line, what is the line between racism and which is acceptable or not. So I can't wrap my head around it. Oh my God.
You know what, James?
Jim
James,
is already.
I think you will fully understand racism when we watch Dynasty Boys.
Ah, yeah, there you go. Amen.
Yeah,
Yes.
amen.
I think that's what we all need to do. That's why I think that's the reason why we're all here meeting. Talking to Chris. It's because we
Chris,
actually need this kind of movie in the Philippine screen. We need for people to understand the concept of racism, how it's affecting everyone, and how it's also visible in our country. So
Well
basically,
said.
this is going to be one nice, entertaining, and informative movie for all of us, especially here in the Philippines.
And
Well said.
Chris, okay, no.
Chris, after you finish this movie, saan mo siya ipapalabas?
Yes, my goal, right now we're seeing just me being here in Hollywood, we're seeing a new industry change where movies aren't going straight to the theaters. And so they're going straight to video on demand so you can watch it. I pray that when we're done, we could immediately take it straight to distribution on video on demand, whether it be Amazon Prime or, Netflix. So I want to take it straight there so that I don't have to wait a year to get it into the theaters and my goal is just to get this all over the world as fast as we can. Forget the red carpet, forget all this picture taken. Let's just give the people the movie so we can make the next movie,
Yeah, GB, Nonong, why are your questions leading to ending the program? It's like you want to end the program.
No.
Let me speak. Let me speak. I want to talk to Chris more because if you will end this program immediately, I cannot promote Machong Chismisan, ang podcast na nagpapakita ng iba't ibang opinion ng iba't ibang klase ng tao. Ayan yun. And Tawalets, explore the behind the scenes of comedy in the country. In Tawalets, sit down with host Aaron Cristobal as we learn about the craft of comedy through the eyes of our local writers. And also one of the newest member of the Podcast Network Asia, Usapang Retro, ride the nostalgia and novelty with Usapang Retro. It's like Batang 90s, but it is in a full-blown podcast format. And of course, all of it cannot be possible without Podcast Network.Asia. Visit podcastnetwork.asia, and if you are a podcaster, join Podmetrics by clicking and going to podmetrics.co and use our referral code KOOLPALS, KOOLPALS. My saliva is going anywhere. And of course, I want to direct this segue to Chakana Podcast. If you are a podcaster, go to podmetrics.co and use our referral code KOOLPALS. All right, let's go back to Chris again. And I really want to talk about racism. Yeah.
Go.
Let's.
I have a question.
Yes. No.
Na question na. Please correct me kung na question na ito. Yung racism ba ay nagiging factor para sumali ka sa gang?
That's a great perspective, because when you go to jail, not that, I've went to jail, but, I know people in jail. And when you go there, you assimilate to your kind as a survival. I don't know what it's like in the Philippines, but in America, you just have different races. The Black Americans, the Mexican Americans, the Asian Americans. Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, they stick together in there. The Mexicans, they stick together, and the Black people stick together. So, it's very rare you'll see, somebody cross over. So is race a factor when joining a gang? I would say most oftentimes, yes, it's a factor for survival. Even when you look at the history of how some of these Asian gangs formed, they did it because they were being bullied by other people, and they just needed a band together because they realized they're stronger together.
Chris, how did you discuss the topic of racism how deep did you discuss your topic of racism in your movie? And what do you expect the audience would feel after they see your movie? What are the lessons that are you expecting for them to learn?
One of the main lessons is that an individual is not responsible for the group that they represent. That's sometimes what we see. Like we'll see like let's just, for an example, a white lady saying something about Filipinos, and then we get offended and we say, man, all white people are like that. I'm trying to show a unique perspective that sometimes that individual doesn't represent the whole group. So how deep are we going? We're tackling, how does someone experience racism for the first time? You see these group of kids, innocent, they're living life, COVID hits, and all of a sudden people are hitting them with all these hate crimes and racial slurs. So what you'll see is a different character from beginning to end, and a tragic thing that happens, a hate crime, somebody dies, and then where does revenge come in? So you'll see, street culture, you'll see racism, you'll see Filipino culture, you'll see even, there's a scene, and I won't ruin it, I'll end it here, where even the Chinese guy and our main character, Filipino guy, are, he's like, man, that's, we have Shopao. And the Chinese guy's like, man, we have Bao. You stole that from us. And then, even they're debating over a simple piece of Shopao, right? Who made it first? So, simple things like that.
Are you portraying a Filipino in the movie, Chris?
Yes, a Filipino American who's even struggling to speak Tagalog, and his mom is telling, why don't you learn? And, the cultural things there, is very powerful. Just because I feel like a lot of Filipino Americans, including myself, we don't speak Tagalog, and I'm doing everything I can to learn, because I really believe I must learn the language. I want to.
Chris, from the way you answer, I can see that
Parang tito. Parang tito.
From beer, James is actually drinking hard liquor already, Chris.
Yes,
he's already drinking hard liquor.
Yes. So the Jim Beam is already kicking in. No, seriously. I think from the way you answer, Chris, this is just a short synthesis for everyone to ponder about, no? The way Chris answers is that he doesn't directly answer our question. But no. This is a good thing. Because our question, to tell you honestly, is directed to a stereotype. But you are answering in a more personal way that every individual, every person is unique, no? And you are not directly pointing the race of that person. So that's what I think, from the perspective of your movie, that, like what you said a while ago, that every person is unique.
Yes.
And an individual. Is that correct, Chris?
Yeah, yes, that's right.
Thank you, James Beam.
Thank you, James.
James Beam.
Ano ka, piskal?
You sound like a congressman.
Good.
Right? Is it bloody true?
I love that.
Okay, I rest my case, Your Honor.
Chris, we've been asking you so many questions about racism and how it is in the US. Do you have any questions for us? It's been a long time since you've been in the Philippines, of some myths that you want to be clarified.
How long has it been, Chris, since you last been here?
I was 13. I'm 31 now, so a long time. And I have a lot. I mean, one of my questions is, it's more so statements and questions. Like, I feel like I hear a lot of Filipinos that tell me, in the Philippines, there's a divide between, Filipino Americans going there, and because they're not the true Filipinos. They don't even speak Tagalog, and amboy, like they show off and stuff. And I want to learn, is that true? And like, why is that how come we're going there showing off, right? We should be going there humbly. We're all equal. And so I'm trying to understand that dynamic. So what is the perspective of like a Filipino American going to the Philippines with the locals? Is it, welcome, or is it more like, this guy, what's he doing here? Go back to America where, you abandoned us or something, like that type of perspective.
I don't really think that happens. It only becomes a big issue when it comes to basketball.
Oh, okay.
Because
I think woman is correct. And also, if we see someone from
Because Philippine basketball, it came to a point where we tend to naturalize foreigners. Even Black Americans, because you know what, they're really good in basketball. We tend to naturalize them as Filipino citizens so they can play for the Philippine team. And it really becomes a big issue here in the Philippines because a lot of local Filipino talents don't get the stage time they deserve. So, only when it comes to basketball.
I believe Muman because Muman has a basketball court on his house.
But also we have this thing called the Pinoy Pride, which is
Pinoy
so
Pride.
big here in the Philippines. Even if you are already just a drop of blood Filipino, we will celebrate you.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will celebrate even your most mundane successes.
Yeah, even if your nanny is just a Filipino and you're a full-blooded white guy and your nanny is a Filipino, we will celebrate your success.
And then for that celebration, we will teach you how to drink on the street like the tagay-tagay.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Chris, there's a question here in the comment section. Because recently there is an issue with cultural appropriation on Filipino community. With regards to the
A New York restaurant?
The Barkada restaurant? Did you hear about that? Four white guys
started up a restaurant.
Started up a restaurant and they named it Barkada, which means friends in Filipino. So then the Fil-Am ranted about it on the internet and called it inappropriate and calling it out as cultural inappropriation because putting up a barkada, a Filipino language using a Filipino language in your restaurant without any hint of a Filipino traits on your menu or your staff is just cultural inappropriation. Can you tell us briefly what is your reaction about that?
First off, I can respect that the person was upset, saying, hey, man, these are white people using our name. Similarly, I can also hear the stories of the people in the streets where, a lot of, whether they're gangsters or anybody like that are saying, hey, man, these Hollywood directors, man, they're taking our stories and they're making money off of our stories. So, I think people will always have their opinions on this type of thing. But also, I mean, I'm seeing it as, you're seeing these white people, what they are, creating a restaurant, promoting the Filipino brand. I mean, promoting the name. As long as there's, authentic Filipino food there, as long as there's some sort of effort to give back to Filipinos, giving them jobs, doing a good win-win instead of just taking away from us, slapping the name and not even, if I went in there and there ain't no Filipinos working there, and if I went in there and the guy doesn't even care about the Filipino culture, then of course I'd be offended. So I'd have to do more research on what he's doing. But I would, have a detective eye to make sure that, is he ripping off our brand and something like that.
Fair enough.
But I think there was nothing Filipino about that restaurant, just the name, right?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That would be a problem in my opinion, just because I feel like that could, offend, some people. Like, come on, right? I mean, you rip the name off, it hints to the Philippines and you can't even give us the respect to give us a job or something that has to deal with us or a win-win. I'm probably going to side, but I'm going to find that lady. We're going to find that guy. Just kidding.
Yeah. Everyone, from what Chris said, I think I finally understood where that sentiment is coming from. I think I will side with Chris here with regards to the cultural inappropriation. I can see the side of that Fil-Am who ranted about that kind of cultural inappropriation on using the Barkada term. Anyway, let's go back to the topic again of racism. I really want to learn more about the racism. Are you easily offended, Chris? Are you easily offended?
I would say, if I said yes, whatever, I just feel like if somebody were to offend me, it would have to hit my personal values. Like if they, talked about, I don't know, God or Jesus. I just pray for everybody. So I don't know. I don't get offended, and I take things with a grain of salt. So if somebody's going to talk smack, I'm like, oh, maybe he's having a bad day, because I need to be positive to continue to create and build. If I let that affect me, it affects all my work, and I don't like that.
Okay. Because I want to play a game here.
No.
The name of the game. just no. This is just
Chris,
a light.
Chris, this is no longer James. This is Mr. James Bean.
This is just a light perspective on how we can tackle racism in a light manner, especially for on the Filipino racism directed to the Filipinos. So let's play a game on rate the racist. So let's this game is named Rate the Racist. This is just basically we will just you rate the racism from 0 to 5. If it's a racist term, then you rate it as 5, and then if it's not that racist, you rate it as 0. So we will throw in racial Filipino slurs. Is it okay, Chris, if we play this game? Just light perspective on racism towards Filipinos.
Sure.
So if we throw in some words.
Before we start, James, I just want to clarify that these are words or phrases that James uses every
all the
day.
time.
So actually, all the time. So this is actually if James is racist game.
And
this is just an
And actually, James is testing that words to Siri, and Siri answered racist.
Please stop, James. You're drunk again.
On the comment section, you can suggest words that are stereotypes of the Filipinos, and Chris will let us know if that phrase is racist.
You can also contribute, Chris, if there are terms that are really offensive to Filipino Americans there.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of terms. Yeah.
Yeah, we just want to know. Yeah, Muman, go ahead.
I mean, we just want to be educated about some terms because there are a lot of terms that are used there that we don't hear yet.
Yes, just we just want to know what are the phrases that Fil-Ams get offended about.
Yes. So we can use them to Filipino American basketball players. Just kidding.
No, if for example, I'm walking by you and I saw a Filipino, and then I will yell at, "Hey, go eat some balut." Is that how would you rate that racial that phrase?
5.
5. That is a racist term. How about if I'm a Filipino also?
But in the Philippines, if someone says that to a Filipino, he will actually buy balut.
Exactly. That's a good
And
one.
I think
In the Philippines, it's not racist. It's an advice or a suggestion.
It's an invitation.
And I think that is what do you think? What is that word? I think sige, wag na nga.
No, I think it's offensive to Filipino Americans because it's very hard to find balut. You know, it's like why do you put the balut in my head? Where am I going to find balut now? Now I'm craving for balut. Oh, fuck you, racist.
So Chris, that will be offensive if that phrase came from a non-Filipino.
100%.
If that came from a Filipino also, then
if it came from a Filipino, then it would just it would depend on the context. I mean, a Filipino who had a balut in his hand would be like, "Hey, you know?
Yeah, thank God. Thank God for you.
Aaron said here in the comment, if someone will shout, "Hey, eat balut," and that's a balut vendor, then it's a 0.
You're good. That's perfect. That's good business.
Chris, what's the most
that Filipinos in LA?
Chris, what's the most common derogatory word they use on Filipinos? Slang.
Actually, not much I've heard. Before it was something called a flip. You know, it was like slang for Filipino or something. But now they don't even use that. They just, the most derogatory word is calling us another race that's other than Filipino, like stereotype Chinese or something.
Just like what Jobert Ryan Asenya on the comment said, Chris, this is common to me when I was in the US. They call me Chinese even though I'm a Filipino. Did you experience this also?
Absolutely. Yes, I experience that all the time.
Yeah. How about if I walk to you and I saw a Filipino and then I say, "Hey, you have a small penis." What is what's the rating of that?
That's also a 5, a definite 5.
That's also
unless
even if you're also in a Philippines.
Unless the person who is shouting this to you is your ex-girlfriend, then there's a slight
and that's a 0
to that.
Or GB
That's zero.
or GB the vendor of the balot.
How about this? Hey, Filipino, can you sing and dance for me?
5.
That's also a 5. So because Teach Rodriguez here in the comment, how about kung pakantahin or pasayawin yung Pinoy abroad? Kasi ang tingin ng lahat ng race is we are a performer. So even if it's a compliment, it's still a racist slur.
Yes, I would say so because you know, what if the person doesn't sing at all? You know, you're saying, "Hey, you can sing." So
Hey, hey, Filipino, come box with me, like Manny Pacquiao.
5 again. These seem like all 5s.
Yeah. So
James, lahat ng mga sinasabi mo 5 ba?
No, because you see, this is an eye-opening experience for all of us. So every Filipinos that are listening, that are based here in the Philippines, that are natives here, will understand what is racism is. So if you are basically, if you are generalizing, that means you are a racist.
Actually,
and if you are not,
or offensive,
looking at a person, the uniqueness of that person, then you are a racist.
Valentin Soria has a really good question. Are racial microaggressions worse than blatant racial slurs?
Wow, that is
that's a Google question, direct. Huh?
That is our director, by the way. Yeah, Chris.
The first part of it was explaining. I think a person that's not educated is a dangerous thing because they continue to keep doing it, versus a blatant racial slur, which is obviously probably caused from aggression or some sort of frustration. So I would say yes and agree that the first, the primary is worse than someone just saying something out of anger, because I don't know, when you're not aware of the problem that you keep doing, you just keep doing it.
What's the worst offensive phrase that you encountered?
Someone said to you.
Or someone said to you.
If in terms of racism, you know, just Chinese guy or chink or something like that. I mean, but no one's ever been like, "Hey, you chink." They've kind of just like in a conversation, you know, chinks, or, you know, and I'm like, "Oh man, like, why you generalizing me as that, man? I'm Filipino." So, you know, it's just I just hope it doesn't get to a point where it gets worse. But with everything happening in the country here in America, it's getting worse.
Oh, yeah, because I heard one of the comedians said, I think it's Bill Burr, that racism usually comes from a very subtle way. It's not that kind of aggression. Usually it's very quiet. Usually it's just a conversation between two people, and not like what I demonstrated a while ago, that someone is calling you out. So usually racism comes from just a normal conversation. So here are some of the questions here. Are you offended if they call you Jungle Asian?
I'm not offended easily, so I just will go, that guy's having a bad day. So no, I'm not offended, but it could be offensive. Yes, definitely, to a lot of people.
How about this from Fade Longboy? Anong masasabi niyo sa Pinoys na gustong tawaging Pacific Islander?
I would say that those are people, because even me, I took a test before when I was young, like Sat-9 test, like all these like school tests, scholastic tests. And the first question is, what do you identify yourself as? It's like Asian, Pacific Islander. Before, I don't even remember if Pacific Islander was a choice. It was just Asian. Then they add Pacific Islander, and I'm like, Asian, Pacific Islander, which one is it? Obviously, I pick Pacific Islander when that shows up. So I think it's just more specificity. Like people are being a bit more specific with what they are, and that's a good thing.
How about this? Jobert, Chris, how about this? Sorry, man, we don't deserve rice here. How would you rate that? We don't serve. Sorry, we don't deserve. We don't serve rice here.
It would depend if, I'd give that a 0 or a 5, because if the person was like, hey, you guys got rice that I can get with my food. And if he goes, hey, we got no rice here, that's not racist. But if I walk into the store and immediately he goes, hey, man, we got no rice here, that's racist.
Wala pang sinaing.
Sir Chris,
if it's in the Philippines, yes, it's not offensive at all. It's very informative, Okay, thank God, because I didn't want to order adobo and then don't get any rice with it,
Akisama Gaming. Sir Chris, have you tried being called a chink in your workplace?
Ooh, never been called it
Have you
in the workplace. So yeah, no, never been called it.
No, you were opening your mouth again.
He was just breathing.
Are you
breathing with my mouth because there's a lot of blood in my inside my nose?
Is that a stereotype? If someone white Asian, oh, your nose is bleeding because of the English.
Oh, I mean, I've never heard that one, but if they mean it in an offensive way, yes, it would be racist.
Usually,
Putang ina nyo, na-offend ako. Putang ina nyo.
Usually, if that's like what GB said a while ago, if it comes from hate, even if it's not a stereotype, it will be racist.
Yes, I agree. 100%. Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions for Chris?
Chris, is Donald Trump essential? I mean, if he loses in November, do you think things when it comes to racism would improve?
Wow, that's a very interesting question, woman.
Just your personal view, man. I'm just asking.
Yes. If he loses, would racism improve? I think right now we're seeing the cause of this influx of racism on Asians is mostly happening from this coronavirus, right? When 9/11 was hit, attacked here in the United States, of course, any person from the Middle East would receive some sort of racial hate here too, to a point where even if you got on a plane next to somebody from the Middle East, you'd be like, oh man, just because of the lack of information and learning just because you're, and I think right now, a lot of these different cultures are like, all right, who came here from Wuhan, or, they're asking all these questions, and, it's a virus that's spread. So if we have Biden or if we have someone else, I think we'll still have a racism problem. I'm not for or against Trump. I'm just saying that, racism is such a strong thing that's developing and snowballing.
Yeah.
Where do you think it is rooted from?
I think it's rooted from fear, as well as also ignorance and lack of wanting to learn more, right? So
because Wayne Lukban here is asking, Sir Chris, just want to know, if you heard someone being racist, what do you do? Do you educate them about it or something else?
Great question. If somebody's being racist, it depends what I'm doing in the situation. So if it's a situation where I can talk to that person, yes, obviously I would say, I wouldn't say, hey, don't say that. I would say something like, I'd ask them why they said that. And I'd try to understand why. And when I get to the core reason, that's where I could give my feedback and input to hopefully change his mind. But if he wants to keep his ways, I'll let them continue to do what they do. At least I did my effort.
And also, Chris, how is the Filipino community affected by the Black Lives Matter movement?
I've seen it two ways. I've seen, the support go in, and, we want to help them so that, there is no more racial attacks on Black people and less Black people can be killed. And I've also seen Filipinos are like, I want to help. But then, you see a bunch of attacks on Asians and they're like, oh, we'll back off right now. It's like we were fighting alongside them. And then we're seeing all these attacks now on Asians. So they're, some people are even being upset, like, so it's going three different ways, if you will.
World's Amazing Videos asking the question, bakit siya ang guest ngayon? Anong linya niya? I think World's Amazing Videos came in late because Chris Soriano is a director, writer, and
producer.
actor of
Are you a
Dynasty Boys. I'm producer also.
Yes.
Of Dynasty Boys, which is a new film that is going to be shown in the Philippines in the in the US in the near future, and this tackles about racism among Filipino Americans. Anyway, we have a lot of questions here. I told you, Chris, Filipinos are very interested about racism here, and also this is a question: how could racism be a positive thing?
I think if there is a positive thing about racism, it shows that there's a problem and a lack of understanding and leadership amongst the masses of people. Because, if this continues to snowball, you have to look at what's leadership doing to help educate people about this tough issue. So that's probably the only positive thing I could see out of it, because it's such a negative thing. You can't really see a benefit in someone saying, go eat below it. Like, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. Chris, there is a comment here. Maging racism expert bigla si Chris. So, we just want to get the point of view.
Yeah.
Of
actually,
someone
Chris,
living.
if we ever get into trouble because of racism, we're just gonna quote you. Chris Soriano, it's okay. It's okay to say that.
Perfect. Blame it on me.
Baka pwede pag-usapan yung question kanina ni Sir Chris tungkol sa tingin ng mga Pinoy sa mga Fil-Am. Anong tanong doon?
Parang nakwento niya na yung kanina.
Oo. Can we discuss it more on the... Hindi ko alam kung anong tanong eh. Kayo nga, saluhin niyo naman ako, guys.
Parang mayabang daw kasi yung mga Fil-Am na umuwi dito.
Chris was asking how we accept Filipino Americans when they visit the Philippines. Do we accept? Do we
Have you experienced that?
Give them the same hospitality, or we
I think we accept them with open arms. I think.
Snob them, Yes, actually, we do. And unless and the only time we have a problem with Fil-Ams is that when our crush in the neighborhood is actually falling in love with the Fil-Am, and that's the only time we're like, you go back to your country.
That's
But
good.
Filipinos, actually, we are generally, from my experience, from my family, some of my family are in the US also, and they're mixed now, and then they come and visit, and then we actually show them the Philippines, because it's not every, they don't get to visit all the time. So I think that's the reason why when you come home, your family will be excited to show you around, and then the people around in the neighborhood will actually invite you to drink and sing with them.
Oh
uh,
wow. Yeah.
Things you will experience. No real hate, really. No hate when Filipino Americans. I think the
I
only
think
problem is
it,
that when there are some titas that will be, visiting the US for a short period of time, like 6 months, and then they come back home, and then they start comparing life in the US and
Oh
the Philippines.
Yeah.
Like, oh, in the US it's not like this, huh? Oh my God, no, no, there's no traffic. Something like that's when it's really painful to the ears when they start
the
comparing.
Filipinos are not
Um,
disciplined like that.
oh yes, something like that. Yes, but that's the only thing we
Are
don't
you
like is that
familiar
when they
with
start
that, Chris?
comparing.
Do you know people who do that? Fellow Filipinos.
yes. Fellow Filipinos that compare.
Yeah, they usually compare the US to the Philippines, especially when they're here.
Yeah. I've family, friends. Definitely. I'll hear them compare all the time, from fashion to the malls to everything to traffic. Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to understand more the dynamic if like Filipino Americans go there, because I've even met Filipinos that have come here, and they're like, man, no, they're not really including me into everything. Like I remember a guy from high school. He came here from the Philippines, and he's like, yeah, they're treating me, they're calling me fob, they're not hanging out with me because and then I always looked at that and I would be like, damn, you speak two languages, man. I don't even speak Tagalog. I mean, you shouldn't listen to anybody calling you a fob or anything like that. That's just rude on their part. So anyways, yeah.
I think,
I
James,
think
it's a case to case basis. We don't have to generalize that all Filipino Americans are like that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think the root of why Filipinos in the Philippines view the Fil-Ams as mayabang is because of their being straightforward.
Mm.
Filipinos here being hate being straightforward and being because we tend to be so timid and shy and expressing ourselves, and since Fil-Ams are uh, um, very used to the
Being
American
direct.
culture, being direct, they view it as mayabang. They
Mm.
view it as something. So I think that is just ignorant again, an ignorance and misinformation on the part of the Filipinos. Because personally, I don't view it as mayabang. It will just be a mayabang if it will come from the places where uh, again, I will not continue that sentence because it because it will be controversial.
Cheers.
anyway, Chris, um, I'm just curious why did you choose School Pals to promote your film?
Because I really want to bond and learn more and immerse myself with my fellow Filipinos. And if I were to get on, ABS-CBN covered us, they did a segment on us, I was so thankful. But I think the community is where it matters. Like hearing you guys reminds me of hanging out with my cousins, and we're just talking, and I love that, and I want more experiences like that. And like I told you, hopefully when we meet again, I'll be fluent in Tagalog so that I could put in my work and really learn the culture. And I really enjoy this. That's why.
Yeah, Chris, I saw in your trailer that you need support for your film. Do you still need support?
Yes, everything we made on our trailer was for free. So support meaning if anybody wants to share it, tag a friend, that could help. We're launching this film on something called Kickstarter, which is a crowdfunding platform. So if anybody wants to donate and support our cause, we could appreciate that too. So dynastyboys.com, if anybody wants to share it, all the information's there.
So guys, if you want to support dynastyboys.com, just go to Dynasty. I just said Dynasty Boys. If you want to support the movie Dynasty Boys, go to www.dynastyboys.com and all the instructions are there, right, Chris?
Yes.
And we'll make sure to have the link on our Spotify episode 143.
Yes.
So if you just scroll onto the description of this episode, and it will be there. And also on the Cool Pals page, we'll make sure that we help promote your movie, Chris.
Thank you.
Because we see that you are actually a good example to all Filipinos, not just in the U.S., in the Philippines. How you deal with racism, how you act on racism, how you research first before you react is something that we should all learn and practice, because it's easy to jump into the bandwagon of hate and all these kinds of culture, and we sometimes forget to think first and research before we actually conclude and say our opinion about certain things. So we're really happy that we get to talk to you about racism and everything that's happening right now in the community.
Thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate that, and I appreciate this.
What are the other ways that the Filipinos can support your film, Chris, aside from sharing it? How about financially?
Yeah, sure. That'd be nice. If anybody wants to donate, they can. If they but I think that the goal is if you have ideas for scenes or anything like that, we're definitely could include it in the film or find a way. If you have a voice of this is how I feel, this would help us Filipinos. The film is so powerful and it impacts so much lives, and I don't think a lot of people really look at the power of a movie. And so if I can do anything to help Filipino Americans or even Filipinos in the Philippines with what it means to be Filipino, this is the time to do it.
Okay. What's the name of your project in Kickstarter?
We're going to launch that on August 20 or September 9th or 7th. So all the information will be on the website. Right now, the Kickstarter is still being created, and we're getting ready to push it out soon in like 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
It'll just be
any other podcast that you emailed? If ever they are on our same network, we can hook you up.
Oh, sure. I mean, I emailed you guys and I think one other one here. So, I don't really have a particular, I just send out 2 emails. So if you have any recommendations, I'd love to be on any other show. Yeah.
So we are the only one that you emailed in the Philippines?
Yeah, I saw GB's, I saw your stand-up. It was really good. I love stand-up comedy. So good job, man. I thought it was really funny, especially your delivery. And just the way you deliver your punchlines. I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy. So respect.
Oh, thank you so much. We're all comedians here. James, Nonong, stand-up comedians. We'll invite you to our show, August 29th.
How about Muman?
Muman also.
Okay.
No. We have a show on the 29th August. I don't know how early that will be in LA, but we'll send you a link so that you get to enjoy the Filipino stand-up comedy scene also.
Oh, perfect.
And, you get to know more Tagalog there because we'll be doing Tagalog sets. So let us know when you have the date, when the movie is coming out. And if you have more details about the movie Dynasty Boys, please let us know. We'll help spread the news about this. We will support this show. It says a lot about your advocacy also as a Filipino American. So
thank you
we definitely
so much.
support it.
Yeah, of course, Chris. We will hook you up with other podcasts in our podcast network, right? Direct Val, can you ask other? Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Direct Val just answered yep. So
Yes, it's first time.
just give Direct Val your email address, and then we'll hook you up with our other podcast in our podcast network Asia. And also other comedians that would want also to discuss it with you. Thank you very much, Chris, for choosing us, for launching, for promoting your film. I think this film will be a big help for all our Fil-Ams and also mostly the Filipinos here in the Philippines, who wants to understand more of what racism is about.
Well said. Thank you.
You see that you see that pause?
That was a lie, Chris. It
That
wasn't
was
well
a
said.
I think that's an audition. I think that's an audition reel for the movie, Chris. If you know.
Yes,
That was a lie, Chris.
That's
Don't lie.
James auditioning.
You see a lot of characters on James, right?
Yeah.
Let us know if James
in
can
one
be
night.
part of the movie, and we'll be the ones to shoot him in the face, even if it's not on the script.
How many sequences are left on your film?
Oh man, we have like about average film around 160 scenes, so we still have to shoot quite a bit. Especially, it slows us down with the coronavirus, and nobody's filming, but we're still filming. So, I hope we don't get cited or anything like that. But we're still gonna keep going.
Yeah, good luck on that, Chris.
Thank you.
And I hope you can launch it this year, and we will support it as the
keep
Cool
us posted,
Pals.
Chris.
Keep us posted. I'm the one who is answering on your email. I'll be answering if you email us. Keep us posted, and if you want us to promote it on our FB page, just tell it to me. Just email it.
Thank you so much. Yes.
There is a press one here. Press one para mag-message si Nonong kay Chris.
Okay. It's
This is a very important message, Chris. So listen to Nonong.
Chris, just always remember Japan. Just always pray at night. That's my message.
Very well said, no.
All
Very
the way
well
from
said, no.
1985.
Very well said, no.
That's my message to you. Hope you enjoy the experience here.
How about Muman?
Thank you.
So how about Muman? Any message for Chris?
No, I really hope you finish your movie by November, man. So it would be good to uplift the Filipino image in America. I think it would be good for everyone.
And GB.
Thank you so much.
That's it. We're all excited now to watch this movie, Chris. And just do keep us informed. And the Cool Pals will show their love and support for sure. Everyone watching right now on YouTube and the Cool Pals listening on the podcast, you don't know how much the Cool Pals community supports one another. So that will definitely be towards the Dynasty Boys as well. So
thank
the
you.
Cool Pals will be looking forward to watch this. We'll start a watch party for sure.
And Chris, if you want to have if you want to have a Tagalog subtitle on it to your film, I'm not the guy.
No, definitely. No, tama, no? I think we should have the Tagalog subtitle on that.
Yeah.
One.
I like that.
So that
Chris,
everyone will...
if you want to know about the podcast in the Podcast Network Asia, just go to podcastnetwork.asia and browse the podcast there, and just choose which podcast do you want to appear in, and we'll make it happen for you. I promise you.
Thank you.
Just email me your choices, and we will ask Direct Val to arrange it for you. And of course, good luck again to your film. And as GB said, the Cool Pals community is very tight and is very tight.
Supportive.
Actually, they are tight.
Any last words for all the listeners that will listen?
My last words are, yes, I hope to make you proud. You know, I look at these, all my brothers. So
Well, you already have, man. You already have, man. So
oh, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Whenever we say goodbye, Chris, we
Yes.
mention the place where we live, and just like James, who is in
mula sa Pasay,
Mula sa Dupax del Sur.
Mula sa Nubali. Cheers sa wakas.
mula dito sa Cavite, guys.
And Chris.
From Los Angeles.
Hanggang sa susunod na
tawanan. Dito lang sa
Cool.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
I appreciate it. It's a great experience.
Good luck, Chris.
Please follow our podcast.
We can do another episode soon when the movie is coming out, and then we'll do it in all Tagalog. So that we can help you practice Tagalog.
I love it. Let's do it. All right.
You can
Thanks
also
again.
invite.
We'll talk soon. Take care always.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
And also, if you can also invite one of your wag mo muna end yung live stream, Direct Bal. You can also invite one of your actors to join our podcast. Just
actors, to join in.
Perfect. Maybe a Mexican or a black gangster. You know, it'd be fun.
We are always open.
We're open for everything.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make
When
sure.
you have more information about when it's going to be shown, and we can do that.
Okay.
Just let us know.
You can also add us on Facebook because we usually don't check our emails. It was just a lucky incident that I refreshed my Gmail, so I saw your email. But it's good to have you here, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
You guys
really.
take care.
Yeah, keep in touch, Chris. Thank you.
Take care always. Be safe with the shoot and all.
All right.
And Chris, always remember John Lloyd said, "Ingat."
Take care, guys.
Thanks again, Chris. Good night. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Chris.
Bye. The people in the comments here are requesting for an after party.
I will only do it if we will all speak in English still. Just to keep up with the team
I'm
for today.
already
Sure.
I'm already pumped up.
Yes. And even the comment section will speak in English.
Yes, we won't do it if anyone speaks in Tagalog. No, we will not.
Comment in English.
If someone speaks in Tagalog, we end it the live stream right now.
We can watch Israel. Wow.
Wow, James.
Wow, those are strong words, Mr. Karan.
Sabay said, Nonong survived. No, Chris survived.
Yeah.
It's the other way around.
The other way. Most behaved award goes to Nonong. That's what she said. That's what she said.
Do you have any idea how much she still needs?
What?
Any idea how much money he still needs to finish the movie? It would be launched on Kickstarter, right?
I'm gonna ask Mother Lily to that question.
He's saying that the actors are doing it for free. So I don't think they need any money.
I think they need more siopaw.
More siopaw. Send more siopaw.
Guys, I want to know your feedback. Oh, when you said feedback, there was a feedback,
Yes, absolutely right. Bloody hell.
What's
From
your
talking
feedback
about racism to being racist, that's the show to die.
Did we answer all your questions about racism? If someone will listen to our episode, will they change their perspective?
Yes.
Actually, James, Joe Rogan is shaking to this episode.
Yes. because we guested the Fil-Am in the Cool Pal show, we already are racist experts. So you can ask us anything.
I think I want to know the opinion of Direk Bal. Direk Bal, can you join us here?
Yes.
And because this is
He
the
was
first
about to
time.
sleep. I think he was about to sleep, man.
Because this is the first time that you ask a legit question in the comment section.
He actually asks question. You just don't read it, man.
I'm not ready. I wasn't ready. Anyway. Wow, English, are we really doing this?
Yes, we're doing it. Actually, they are. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. A very informative episode. I'm so glad that you guys actually did this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the first time Direct said that to us.
Yes.
It took us 120 episodes.
It's such an important move. I mean, like, it's not exactly a move. It's like, I think it's the same thing goes with back then when you guys did the Pride episode. I think you guys are having the initiative to actually learn and be open to this discussion. And I mean, what you guys mentioned earlier, that this is actually a very important. I mean, not every Filipinos are as knowledgeable on racism
about
compared to us,
See how proud the look of James is, Direct, with what you said. James is so proud. Look at him. Such a proud racist.
Do you think this will make a difference if some Filipino racist, for example, Boknoy, will listen to this episode? Do you think this will open his eyes regarding this the issue of racism?
Yeah. I was supposed to ask. I was supposed to ask about intersectionality. Actually, because it was mentioned earlier how Filipinos can relate to racism.
Before that, what is intersectionality?
Okay, so what intersectionality means is how everything is what's happening around the world is connected. Basically, let's say Black Lives Matters, and then the Hong Kong protests, and here in the Philippines we have basically upholding our human rights. So how these are all connected, that's what intersectionality means, and all of that are connected to human rights. So that's a very
it's a really good observation there.
So if we include Boknoy, it means na what it means is that someone here mentioned stereotyping, and also on class divide. So discrimination on what do you call this? On your job. That's his issue, right? With Boknoy. So it's discrimination. It's bigotry and hatred. Yeah. And informing yourself.
How about you? What do you think about the intersectionality?
Oh, what about it? Like,
what about it?
Hindi mo ginawa kay Chris.
Hindi mo tinanong. Are the Filipinos generally aware about intersectionality, or majority of the Filipinos still believe in
everything's connected?
Ano yan, parang
Pinoy Pride.
Silang kung Pilipinas lang, kung Hong Kong yan, bahala kayo sa buhay niyo.
Yeah. Okay. The question was about intersectionality on I know if Filipinos are aware.
Yes.
Is that it? Okay, so Filipinos are like most generally not aware because we are so we are already clouded with our very own problems. And someone mentioned in the comments earlier that not everyone is aware with I mean, in our case, Philippines is not a culturally diverse country. I mean, we don't have a lot of white people. I mean, Americans, Black Americans, white, Filipino Americans, Mexican Americans. But if we're talking about intersectionality, we can compare it to social classes here in the Philippines, or our very own indigenous groups. Metro Manila. What do you call this? Imperial Manila. There's this term back then. I think it still applies today. That NCR is the center of everything, right? So I think we can apply that that comparison with us. So what makes it what makes it hard for Filipinos to realize this is I think lack of education. So maybe that's why I asked the question about microaggression. These are things now we're not aware that we're being, like, say, we're doing racist slurs already, we're doing offensive behavior because we don't know anything about it. We're ignorant.
Actually, Direct Bal, I'm not fully aware of the microaggression. Can you expound more of that?
Okay. Yeah,
but before we alam mo, pwede natin gawing episode to, additional episode, bonus episode.
Okay.
Pero on the let's finish first the issue of intersectionality. Where do you think it is rooted from? Is it rooted from ano yun, Muman?
I think it's rooted for a call for equality. I mean, we just strive for equality. We just want equality.
I think it is rooted from mas maraming problemang kinakaharap ng Pilipinas. Parang yung perspective, the perspective of the Filipinos with first world problems. No? We don't usually we set aside the problems that are first world, and we just deal with the ones that are already in our table. So that's why intersectionality is just put aside as first world problems.
Right.
So I think that's where it is coming from, that we don't dwell so much on intersectionality. Is that correct, Direct Bal?
Yes, because a lot of the knowledge on class struggles or racial struggles are rooted from Western education, right? So most of our ideas, let's say, of feminism, of LGBT rights, of racism, these are something we learn from the Western culture, because it's not it wasn't really we are not real familiar about it until recently. So that's why it's classified as a white problem or a first world problem, because we are a developing country, although all of it are just connected. I mean, essentially, the problems are all connected.
Someone is commenting, lack of education, magtagalog na tayo para maintindihan lahat. Yun nga, parang siguro pag-usapan natin ng maikli lang.
Okay.
Gawin natin itong bonus episode as 30 minutes para lang mas magkaroon lang tayo ng perspective towards parang mas magkaroon lang tayo ng perspective dun sa napag-usapan natin kanina tungkol sa racism. So ang napag-usapan natin kanina is intersectionality. So ito yung intersectionality, sa kakasabi nga lang ng Direct Bal. So kung hindi nyo na catch yun, i-rewind nyo lang yung Spotify nyo, makukuha nyo na yun. Pero doon tayo pumunta sa ano yung isang sinabi ko, Direct Bal, na
microaggression.
Microaggression. Ano yung microaggression?
These are racial slurs, or what do you call this? Behavior that we are not aware that we're doing.
Katulad ng, mas maganda may examples.
Yes. You guys were, sorry, pwede na magtagalog, no?
Pwede na.
Pwede naman kanina.
Man!
Disappointed.
Ayun, yung kanina, yung mga pinoint out with, yung mga tinanong natin kanina with, kay, what do you call this? kay Chris,
Chris.
you know, mga stereotypes na towards Asian Americans. Let's say, wala kaming rice, sorry. Filipino ka, so magaling ka kumanta. So those are, you know, those are like they're harmless questions, right? I mean, it's just like curiosity, but on the other end of that question, it's you're stereotyping, and that's microaggression. It could be offensive to them, and this goes to when you're in education, when you're let's say in school with diverse students. Let's say if you're not a white American, you're classified as, you know, not getting A's, not getting high grades essentially, and that that's a form of microaggression. So it's there's it's very subtle that you don't notice that it is, you know, that you're being racist. And as Chris mentioned earlier in the recording, that it's much worse to be ignorant over being blatantly racist. I mean, kung openly racist ka because of hatred, okay, right? That's bad. Pero kung microaggressions na hindi ka aware na you're being racist, that's much more worse. Because
Talaga, ito yung subtle ways. Ito ba yung tinatawag nating yung mga subtle ways na parang nakikipag-usap ka lang sa ano, yung katulad ng binigay niya example kanina, yung you know, chinks are so ano ganyan. That. So worse yun.
Yes, especially kapag hindi aware yung tao na he's being racist. Because you know, it's especially kapag, let's say, in a political climate na racism is very obvious, hatred, people are actually dying over racism, at tapos you're still ignorant about these issues and your very own behavior that could be offensive to other people. That is so that's why education should be an utmost important when it comes to this. Yeah.
So talagang importante rin talaga itong mga gantong topics na mapapag-usapan out in the open. Dahil hindi rin naman to tinatackle sa educational system, di ba?
Yes, I would say wala. Siguro in college there are subjects,
Actually
but
sa college hindi ko na
experience.
Hindi ko alam sa inyo
encounter.
Muman, GB, no.
Hindi
Kung
yun sa amin.
experience nyo to, yung wag yung tawagin ano. Parang na-experience ko lang yan sa movies, sa TV, kapag napag-usapan na. Kayo ba na-experience nyo?
Parang hindi masyado sa atin.
Wala pa ako.
Hindi masyadong napag-uusapan yung ganyan kasi parang
May magandang example si Moko Moko, basahin niyo.
Sige.
ano sabi?
Kapag kabayan ng sales sa mall, tapos pricey ang product, bubungaran na ka ng, ay sir, mahal po yan. Kahit may pambili ka naman.
Eh ano ba suot mo nun? Ano ba suot mo nun, John Lawrence?
Pero ang tingin ko naman sa yun nga 'di ba, parang dito sa Pilipinas talagang hindi napapag-usapan hindi sa atin laganap yung world politics. No?
Yep.
Laging local politics. Sobrang
Yun din naman yung sinabi ko doon sa nag-message sa atin na hindi nangyayari yung mga nangyayari diyan dito rin. Parang hindi ang sabi ko ay minsan kasi hindi nangyayari yung nangyayari diyan dito. Kaya wag mo masyadong ihambing yung racism diyan dito sa Pilipinas. Kasi nga sinasabi ko na kaibigan kita, kaya mo ako inaasar. Kaya tinanong ko rin dun sa kasi syempre kung hindi mo naman, kahit naman kung sino naman hindi mo kaibigan, tas asarin mo ng maitim.
Maitim. Oo nga naman.
Oo. At saka kasi, ito lang ang ano lang dyan, is si Nonong kasi ang unang nang-asar sa sarili niya. So,
kahit hindi.
Usually kung sa atin naman, sa ating mga comedian, ang pinaka rule naman natin is kapag hindi mo inasar yung sarili mo, hindi ka nag-self-deprecate, hindi mo pwedeng i-apply sa kanya yung dahil panglalait na yun eh. So, sa case naman ni Nonong, ginagamit niyang material yung maitim siya. So, kapag may nag-approach sa kanya na maitim siya, wala siyang karapatang magreklamo na.
Bakit naman wala akong karapatan? Hindi, wala akong karapatan. Tinanggalan mo ako ng karapatan magalit, James.
Pero
Hindi.
totoo yun, alam mo, Jibs, naalala mo, Jibs, nung nag-Hong Kong tayo, tapos si Brewski, nag-joke siya sa mga Pilipino na katulong. Komedyante na yung nagsabi nun na, tangina parang medyo nasaktan ako.
Kahit ang aming mga comedians sa ganyan. Sa mga racist, medyo racist ang mga comedy ng Asia kasi. Di ba nga, parang, magsasabing mga Pilipino na comedian, yung throwaway nila, we hired some Filipino comedians because after the show, they clean up.
Right. Ay, kasi, alam mo, ang rule ko talaga dyan, kung race mo, doon ka lang pwede mag-joke, pero pag hindi mo na race, huwag ka na mag-joke doon sa race na yun.
Nararamdaman. Kung hindi
Unless na kaibigan mo talaga.
Unless kaibigan mo, tama.
Kung kaibigan mo nga. Kasi kung kaibigan, matatanggap mo yun kasi pwede kang gumante. Pagka hindi mo kaibigan, inasar ka at ginantihan mo, suntukan na yun. Suntukan na.
Pero mabalik tayo dun sa ano na pinag-uusap?
Nangyari sa akin yan yung sa Australia, sa Melbourne. Ibang klaseng racism doon.
Kamusta yung racism doon, GB?
Sinusundan ako talaga sa loob ng grocery, ng guard. Kasi mukha daw akong homeless, sabi nung isang komedyante. So parang sinusundan ako ng guard. Kasi may backpack ako palagi eh. Kasi syempre, pag mag-iikot ako, may backpack ako palagi dadala. So parang tinitingnan nila ako. Every time doon sa same grocery na yun, sinusundan ako palagi nung guard. Tapos, nung pag kumukuha ako ng sweldo, pumunta kami sa opisina. Akala nila ninanakaw ko yung ballpen. Sabi niya, hey, did you forget to return my pen? Sabi ko, this is my pen. So sabi ko, ginawa ko ng joke. Lahat ng mga na-experience ko na ganyan, ginagawa ko ng joke. So parang sabi ko, ginawa ko ng joke. Lahat, parang yun na yung bawi ko eh. So ginawa ko ng joke yung sa Australia, libre yung gupit ng homeless, saka libre gupit, saka libre ligo. Tapos kaya nung napagkamalan ako na homeless ng gwardiya, hindi ako nagalit. Dahil na kumuha lang ako ng libreng gupit, saka libreng ligo. Tapos
this is in the Philippines?
Abroad.
Sa abroad. Yung racism. Talagang doon ako naka-experience ng talagang sobrang racism sa Melbourne. Yung pag may nakasalubong ako na puti na lasing, kami mga kasama, mga Asians kami mga kasama, tanga na Chinese kami. Chow 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 chow! Ginagawa ganon. Tapos yung sinabi nung nagnakaw ko ng ballpen, ginawa ko ng joke yun sa stage. Sabi ko, sa lahat naman, kami mga Pilipino, pag pupunta kami sa ibang bansa, hindi kami magnanakaw ng ballpen. Nanakawin namin yung trabaho nyo. Wala natawa. Sa lahat naman na nanakawin ko dito, ballpen pa. Para maya naman kayo. Maya naman ako sa sarili ko pa. Pero ang gamit talaga experience yan. Ang nag-welcome sa akin sa Melbourne, Vietnamese pa eh. Si Hang Lee. Siya yung nagpakita sa akin ng beauty of Melbourne. Tapos yung pag ginagawa ko yung mga jokes tungkol sa ballpen, tungkol sa racism, sakto yung gabing ginagawa ko yung joke na yun, nandun yung head ng Melbourne Comedy Festival. Tapos after nun, palagi niya na akong binabate. Hi GB, how are you? How are you?
How are you? Is
Hope
that my
you're
pen?
Okay. Oh.
My pen,
Babae yung head eh. That night pala nandun siya. So parang nahiya naman siya dun sa nagiging experience ko sa Melbourne. Pero yun talaga eh. Rampant talaga ang racism kahit sa pumunta.
Well, in your own little way, GB, you made a difference. You made the person, di ba? Kahit pa paano, nag-adjust yung taong yun. Alam niya na.
Oo. So baka may ano na nila. Pero iba talaga, pare.
GB, may tanong dito. Sabi ni Jude Castillo, observational comedy ba yung style ni Russell Peters? Racist ba yon? Racist ba kung yun naman talaga yung na-experience sa mga race na nakasalamuha niya?
Kasi siya naman poking fun of yung mga racial stereotypes eh. Ito kasi na-enjoy ng lahat, especially na-enjoy rin to ng mga taong pinagtatawanan niya eh. So it doesn't come out as offensive. Minsan binibida niya eh. Binibida niya yung race kahit nagtatawanan niya yung stereotype, di ba? Yan din yung style ni Jokoy, di ba? Kahit na medyo pinagtatawanan niya yung pagiging Pilipino, medyo nalilift pa rin niya na kahit konti yung moral ng pagiging Pilipino. Kaya nakarami natutuwa sa kanya kasi parang imbis na makita ng tao na parang tratado to, pinagtatawanan kami, parang tayo na binibida niya yung Pilipino, binibida niya yung lahi natin. Parang so, observational siya in a sense na na-observe niya yung ugali ng mga iba't ibang race, ganyan. Pero, yun lang at that point. Di na lumalim yung comedy niya. Para nandun lang siya, nilalaro lang niya. Kasi magaling sila mag-accent eh. So, yun yung ano niya, alas niya. Sa komedya.
Sa tingin ko naman, tama yung sinabi ni GB talaga kanina eh. Yun naman talaga yung basic eh. Kung nanggagaling yun sa hate, yung sinabi
intent,
niya.
No? Yung mali siya ang importante.
Yung intent talagang, parang hindi talaga siya sa words. Hindi talaga nakakasakit ang words.
Oh.
Nakakasakit ang intent. So kung sa intent ka masasaktan, nag-agree ka ba doon?
Papansin mo din yan eh.
So never ka magagalit sa akin, James, kasi alam mo naman yung pagmamahal ko sa'yo.
Hindi ko rin alam. Direct Bal, ikaw, nag-agree ka ba doon? Nasa intent, hindi nasa words.
There are, kasi if we are still referring to racism, let's say the N-word, that roots kasi to a very long
negative place,
time
no?
It roots from a negative place. It roots to oppression. I mean, it roots to a very important part of as negative as it is, it's a very important part of the Black history in America for Black Americans. So for at least for as what I know, for the N word, we cannot just loosely throw that term when it comes from that kind of dark place. And when if you look back to its history, right?
Gawin natin direct Bal sa sorry to cut you up pero tingin ko mas maiintindihan ng mga Pilipino kapag na-relate natin sa kanila. Sabihin natin yung dark place galing sa Pilipino, Indio.
Right.
Diba? Parang feeling ko yun ang magiging katumbas ng N-word.
N-word.
Sa Pilipino.
Alam mo sa akin.
Yung Indio. So kapag
tinawag medyo
ikaw, sige, GB muna bago si Direct Bal.
Yung sa akin, yung sa N-word, parang yung sa kultura ng mga itim, sobrang sama nung salitang yun. Pero incorporate nila sa everything cool about them. Sa rap, di ba? So, sa rap music, ginagamit nila. So, ikaw na gusto mo maging rapper, tapos ginagaya mo sila, tapos mabanggit mo yun, magamit mo, kasi kala mo cool ka. Yun yung start ng ignorante ka talaga eh. Kasi hindi mo nakita yung salitang yon as a derogative. Nakita mo yung salitang yun as part of a rap song na gustong-gusto mo. Kaya yun lang yung alam mo about the word. So ikaw ngayon, maglalakad ka sa kali mo, sinisigaw mo yung mga linya, di ba? So parang yun yung doon ako medyo nalilito diyan eh. Dapat hindi na nila ginamit yung salitang yun. If someone will say it tapos mo-open sila, but the rest of the rap industry will use it dun sa mga lyrics ng kanta nila that everyone will purchase and enjoy. So parang dun din nagsisimula yung siguro it's their way of informing everyone about the word and how bad it is, pero hindi siya effective in a way of explaining to everyone na itong salita to masama. Gagamitin mo muna yung salita na galing dun sa rap song nila bago sabihin sa'yo ng tao na tangina mo gago, racist ka, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin yan, kami lang pwedeng gumawa yan. So parang it's parang backwards pagturo, parang ganoon yung sa akin, parang kailangan malalaman ko na masama akong tao dahil ginaya ko lang yung paborito kong rapper o yung paborito kong ginaya ko lang yung paborito rap song, then I'll be labeled as racist already. Parang ang sagwalang ng learning process instead of wag yung gagamitin to dahil kaya nga namin hindi ginagamit to dahil masama tapos gagamitin mo. Dapat ganun eh.
GB, galing sa logic mo, kapag nag-self-deprecate yung comedian, okay lang siyang laitin?
Hindi rin.
Makakatulog si James.
Hindi, ibig sabihin, hindi kasi sa akin.
So kung sinabi ni Nonong maitim siya, sabihin ko na kay Nonong iba yung salita kasi na nigger. Talagang may pinanggagalingan siyang history na hindi maganda eh. Tapos ginawa mo siyang cool sa isang rap song. Tapos pag may gumaya sa'yo dahil cool nga eh, malilabel ka na racist. Eh, ano ba naman ang alam ng 10 years old, 12 years old, 14 years old sa Black history? Di ba? Hindi na nakikita yan. So ang akin lang, ang pangit lang nung learning process na pag ginaya mo yung rapper na paborito mo at ginaya mo yung linya na yon, lilabel ka nila, tangin mo gagawin, hindi pwedeng sabihin yan, racist ka. Bakit? Hindi mo ba alam nung panahon ng ganito ay ginagawa nila yan? Yung parang yung learning lang is bakit kailangan mo pang malabel muna ng racist bago malaman mo yung totoo dun sa pangalan. Dahil nga, ginamit siya dun sa cool manner of putting it into a rap song. Dahil ang tawagan nila, ganyan, cool eh. Di ba? Yung sa mga rappers, pag tinawag nila na N-word yung isa, tapos tawagin na N-word yung isa, parang sobrang cool. Gusto mo makijoin. Pero sabihin na hindi pwede.
Nangingiwi ako dyan pag nakakarinig ako ng ibang, anong pakiramdam nyo pag may naririnig kayo iba na gumagamit ng N-word? Nangingiwi ako dyan.
Siyempre, dahil alam mo na eh. Dahil alam mo nang hindi dapat eh. Dahil alam mo hindi dapat para sa kanila. Pero ang sagwa lang nung learning nung lahat ng tao, kasi nga dahil ang una mo namang magiging tutor o magiging teacher sa lengguwahe nila ay yung mga rap music eh.
Media, sabihin na lang natin media in general, di ba?
Oh, sa songs, sa movies, ganyan. So yun, ano bang ginagaya ng mga bata? Madalas, ano bang ginagaya, di ba? Yung mga music, yung mga nasa TV. So, gagamitin talaga nila yung salitang yan para lang maging cool. Tapos saka sila sasampalin na, huy, gago ka, bawal yan, mali yan. Parang doon ako na parang meron ba siguro ibang...
Point taken. Bago tayo pumunta kay Direct Bal, so yun nga, parang okay lang nga na hindi ko alam, kunyari ako hindi ko alam kung saan nanggaling si Nonong, bakit niya sinabi na maitim siya.
Hindi mo alam kung ba't niya tinatak na maitim yung sarili niya.
James, ang tagal na niya kanina, nakamove on na yung usapan.
Ito nga.
Parang gusto nila pagdiinan, Nonong.
Oo.
Hindi, Ganto kasi kaya kasi ako nasasabihan ng mga kaibigan ni Grace na masama ugali dahil sa mga sinasabi
Yun ba ang
ninyo.
pinagugutan niyan?
Pero alam mo,
Anak ng...
pero
Panis ba na inom mo,
depends
James? Panis ba na inom mo?
pero merong mga
Gusto ko lang naman
Black
American
American
ng perspective.
may mga Black American artists and performers na nag-stop na gumamit ng N-word sa mga alam ko sino ba? Si Richard Pryor ba? Tinigil na niya. Parang ganon. Kasi madalas niyang ginagamit yung salita. Then it becomes loosely, parang ginagamit niya lang siya para maging cool or ano. So tinigil na niya. Kasi hindi nga nakakatulong eh. So I guess
Pwede na ba ako magsalita?
Hindi, pero yun yung hinano ko na parang yung issue na sinasabi ko, hindi lang to nakikita ng iba. Nakikita rin to within the community. Na mali na dapat itama.
Pwede na ba ako magsalita nang walang nag-i-interrupt?
Sige.
Kilay, ang kilay.
Ang kilay lumalaban.
Ito na. Gusto ko, hindi. Kay Direk Bal. Direk Bal, ikaw, anong reaction mo doon?
Yeah, I understand kung saan nanggaling yung point ni Mr. Labrador. Because people have become very aggressive on educating people over racism na, sometimes parang it's too much. And we get it na, it really is offensive, but we really should be mindful din where are these people coming from? Baka they're not exactly aware if it's offensive. So we should, we should be patient.
From rap music. Ang hirap lang sabihin sa bata na, uy, huwag mong sasabihin yan. Bakit kinasabi ni Dr. Dre? Si Dr. Dre lang pwede magsabi niyan. Parang,
and these topics are,
yun lang yung mahirap sa akin.
At the same time, very sensitive. I mean, ang hirap siya i-explain sa mga bata or to people who don't have access to wala silang experience with first-hand experience with racism. So it's hard for them.
So parang iniisip ko tuloy, should it be considered as profanity? Kasi, di ba? Sa bata, bawal yung fuck you, bawal yung motherfucker, bawal din yung nigger. Bakit? Kasi racist naman yan. Itong iba, profanity. Yung sabi niya, hirap naman makinig ng rap music. Sige na, nasa na ba yung take ni mo ni Sarah G?
Saglit, baka may sasabihin si James. Makagalitan na naman tayo. James, may sasabihin ka ba?
Pwede na po.
Kumakain na lang ako.
Kumakain ka lang.
Pwede na po.
Napakamatampuhin mo naman.
Pwede na po.
Kaya ako nasasabihan ng mga kaibigan ni Ice na masama ugali eh.
Yung pa rin.
Dahil kasi observant lang yung mga kaibigan ni Ice. Ano ba naman?
Anti-purna ko.
Ikaw yung maglalabas ng mga statement na ganyan bago ikaw yung masasaktan.
Maging racist pa ako?
Tignan mo, ayaw mo akong magalit na inaasar mo akong maitim. Pero pag sila sinasabihan ka ng anti-porn, nagagalit.
Where is the equality, James?
Hindi naman ako anti-porn. Galit lang ako sa mga squatter. Joke lang.
Hari ka yun lang.
Gusto ko lang kwento kung bakit ako naging anti-porn. Tingnan mo, kinakat nyo ako.
Sige lang ko James, sorry. Lag.
Kaya lang ako naging anti-porn dahil kinuwento ko yung yung experience ko nung bata ako na nakikipagbatuhan ako sa mga squatter. Hindi ko alam nung bata ako noon na squatter sila. Gusto ko lang silang batuhin. Nalaman ko na lang. So, anti-porn na ba yun?
It makes so much better, James, na gusto mo na silang batuhin.
Gusto ko lang mabato ng squatter.
So, maganda marinig sa'yo, James, na hindi ka namimili ng taong babatuhin.
Yun ang pinakamaganda sa'yo.
Yun ang maganda sa'yo. Equal ka. Pag gusto mong batuhin, wala akong pakialam kung mahirap ka, mayaman ka, basta gusto lang kitang batuhin.
Mayaman yan o mahirap, babatuhin kita.
Yan.
Hindi kita pinato dahil squatter ka. Yan ang aking slogan kapag tumakbo ko bilang senador. babatuhin kita dahil hindi ka squatter.
Ay, ano yan, napag-usapan namin yan dun sa, namin ni Donna, sa palabas.
Donna Pariaga?
Kung paano yung mga nakaka-offend. Ang sabi doon sa, sa script, pag ang maganda ay tinawag ka na pangit, nakaka-offend. Pero pagka pangit yung tumawag sa'yo ng pangit, nakakatawa. Pagka hindi ako na-offend sa'yo,
maganda ka.
Pangit.
Pangit ka.
Parang ganon yung sinasabi nun.
Hindi, pero yun nga, babalik tayo dun sa paano kung sinonong, kunyari, nagsiself-deprecate ako sa isang material ko na nanggaling sa isang madilim na lugar. Tapos nagjo-joke ako about sa'yo. Kunyari, sabihin natin si isang comedian nagjo-joke about suicide. Suicide, yan. Tapos, katulad nung ni GB na yung logic, hindi ko alam kung ito yung logic mo, pero dun sa pagkakabasa ko, parang kapag ginagawa na nung isang tao yung suicide niya, ay yung isang topic, parang freely mo nang sabihin kasi hindi mo naman alam. Baka sinasabi niya freely eh. So, pwede mo nang sabihin freely. So, kung isang comedian o isang musician, sabihin natin, para mas malapit dun sa example mo, nagjo-joke or kumakanta about suicide. So, pwede ka na mag-joke about sa kanya sa suicide.
Hey, sinabi dito si Mark Colmenar na maganda eh. You make jokes to people to laugh at your jokes, not to make fun of you.
Yun nga eh. Pero hindi natin alam kung sa society, kasi sa atin, okay lang eh. Ako, honestly sa akin, tinatanong ko lang naman to for the benefit of the persons na hindi makakagets nung humor natin or yung mga, katulad nung, nilalagay ko lang yung sitwasyon ko dun sa nagbigay sa atin ng essay. So kung ako yung taong yun, siyempre hanap ako kayo ng butas. So yung ang butas doon, so pwede na ba ako mag-joke? Since nag-joke ka na about suicide, pwede na ba kitang biruin about suicide?
Siguro kung kung yung inaasar mo ay hindi naasar, wag sanang maasar yung iba para sa kanya. Parang ganon.
Isa pati yun. Yung on behalf, na-offend ako on behalf.
Oo. Kung tinake na yun, kung tinake niya yung joke na yun, di okay lang sa kanya, di wag kang masyadong makialam na. Wag kang wag kang masaktan para sa kanya kasi kaya naman niyang tanggapin eh.
Oo. Saka
ikaw, GB, wait lang. Gusto ko lang marinig yung point of view ni Direk Bal being a non-comedian. Non-stand-up comedian, parang outsider sa ating larangan. Anong tingin mo doon? Na-offend ka ba doon?
That was a really good one. A really good one.
On ano ito sa self-deprecation?
Jokes in general.
Oo, parang
a joke.
So kung isang tao nagjo-joke about suicide, so pwede ka na ba mag-joke sa kanya about suicide? Pwede mo siyang i-approach. Magbigti ka na kaya? Parang gano'n.
Yeah. I think kasi yung something is I think we can categorize things whether it's offensive or not depending sa context. I mean, there are insults based on looks. There are insults based on ability, ableism. So let's say yung mga jokes against PWDs, blind people, deaf, and then there are jokes on, of course, on mental health, on racism. There are parang may hierarchy on what's offensive and what's not. But at the same time, why should we do a hierarchy of something that's offensive? Why can't we just avoid it? So it's yun nga, in context, because if you see it in from your point of view, for you comedians, this is a part of the act. a part of what you do, right? Pero if you go out on at least from my end, would I get offended? Say I'm in a comedy bar and then you guys did a joke na offensive and stuff. Would I get offended, or would I like put myself in the environment I'm in? Kasi I'm in a comedy bar. Of course, there are things that maybe not in my control or in society's conventional standards, diba? Society's conventions on jokes. So yeah, I think context. We should look into context.
James, may tanong ako sa'yo. May na-offend na ba na sa'yo na yung, di ba may joke ka na tungkol sa bingi? May na-offend na sa topic na yun? Kasi hindi pa lahat sila alam, nanay mo pa yung na-offend. Hindi yung galing sa labas.
Ganun kakakupal. Ganun kakakupal pati nanay mo.
Pag nanay ko, pinatigil ako, titigil ako.
Natatandaan ko may isang nagsabi sa akin, pero hindi ko na matandaan kung sino yung nagsabi sa akin. Pero nung na-explain ko sa kanya na nanggagaling ako sa, totoo yung sinasabi ko, na nanggagaling ako sa isang
household.
Isang household at isang perspective na yun ang sige, na yun ang context.
Reality mo.
So yun ang reality ko. So nire-relay ko lang sa kanila. So does it mean na dinidegrade ko yung isang sektor ng tao? Kinikwento ko lang sa kanila kung ano ba talaga yung nagiging pakiramdam ng isang nandoon sa isang ganong sitwasyon. So, naintindihan naman niya. So, natigil na yung ganong ano. Pero so far, wala pang nagkaroon ng campaign para i-cancel ako. Sabi ni Ventilador dito, James, bilang dating squatter, na-offend ako na gusto mo silang batuhin. Bilang isang bato, sabi naman ni John Lawrence Moko, bilang isang bato, na-offend ako na sa squatter area mo ko ihahagis.
Ang galing. Ang galing.
Pero, ikaw, Muman, total wala si GB. Same same sentiments. Ano yung sentiments mo doon sa nasabi kanina? Yung parang isang, kasi ang pinanggagalingan naman ni Direk Balis doon sa context and intentions.
Ayoko nang nakakasakit ng tao. So kahit hindi ko pa naintindihan yung word.
Muman?
Totoo yun, guys. Totoo yun. Sa totoong buhay ito, guys. Kung may na-offend sa salitang nigger, sabihin natin, I think people should stop using. Naintindihan man lang hindi. Kung merong mang gumagamit, edi ituro nyo kung may pagkakataon.
Pero doon sa, mag-focus tayo doon sa material mo. Suicide. Patay na tatay. Pag kunyari,
pansin nyo yung structure ng jokes ko, masyadong malapit sa akin. So unless na kapatid kita, sasabihin ko lang, tatay James, mo rin yung kinikwento.
James, di ba nga may kasabihan, pagka self-deprecation, okay lang, kesa marinig mo sa iba?
Wala namang kasabihan ganun na.
Super one said.
Meron na. Ayun.
Kaya nga self-deprecation, kesa marinig mo pa siya sa iba,
unahan mo na.
Inuunahan mo na siya. So, ibig sabihin, kaya mo ginagawa yon, maaring makasakit kasi yun dun sa sasabihan mo. So, parang inuunahan mo yung sarili mo.
Pero kung inunahan mo na, tapos, pagkatapos ng set mo, sabihin natin, nasa restaurant ka, kumakain ka, nakilala ka, ikaw yung nagjo-joke tungkol sa suicide. Tapos, lumapit siya as a fan. Nonong pakamatay ka kaya?
May intention. Hindi ba intention yun? Alam niya masama yung
paano kung intention
alam
ko?
Niya na agad,
you have to understand, James, kapag ganyan yung tipo ng material mo, you have to be really, really skillful in writing it. Or else you will come out as a bad person.
Hindi. Oo nga. Hindi ka mukhang bad person nun, pero ginamit sa'yo ng fans mo.
Iniintindi ko na lang na ano.
Should you be offended?
Hindi naman. iniintindi ko lang. Ngayon, kapag buong gabi niya ginawa at hindi siya tumigil, yun, nakaka-offend yun. Pero kung sasabihin mo,
ikaw, GB, anong reflection
yung sinasabi ni Moma na intention. May intention na doon. Pagka inulit-ulit niya pa.
Pag inulit-ulit.
Pag inulit-ulit. Ang pinakamagandang response ko na lang doon, titingnan ko siya tapos hindi ako tatawa. Para ipakita ko sa kanya na hindi nakakatawa yung ginagawa niya. Pero hindi ako magagalit.
Parang Tama naman yon. Tama yon. Nag-agree ako doon sa sinabi ni Nonong tsaka ni Muman. Ikaw, GB, anong take mo doon?
Lagi mong ginagawa sa akin yun eh.
Feeling ko yung nagsasalita si Norman ha.
Ikaw, GB, anong take mo doon? Kasi kunyari, kung ilalagay sa perspective ko, yung kunyari sa pipit bingi ko na magulang, kapag inulit-ulit nga naman sa akin yun, talagang ma-open na ako. Pero kung once lang nasabihin sa akin, uy, kamusta yung pipin na magulang mo? Adi, okay lang naman dahil magigets ko na nanggaling yun sa joke na sinabi ko. Pero pag inulit-ulit pa niya na, sabihin mo ako, narinig nila to, syempre ma-open na ako doon.
Grab driver mo, yung buong biyahe. Paulit-ulit.
Sabi naman ni James Christian Karaan Fans Club, manggagaya pa ba kayo ng Indian Vietnamese accent pagkatapos ng episode na to?
Kapag nakakatawa.
Oo naman po, tangina mo.
Siyempre, pag tayo lang.
Pag tayo lang. Hindi ba tayo naka-LIVE?
Hindi. Ikaw, anong take mo doon?
Kung hateful ang dating, kung hateful talaga, yun talagang nalalait ka na, then yun na yung masama. Kasi alam mo yung setup kasi natin is magtotropa tayo na nag-uusap. So, pag tayo naglolokohan, yun yung lokohan ng tropa. Ang lokohan ng tropa, alam mo naman pag foul yung sinabi mo, hindi mo na itutuloy. Alam mo naman din pag mapipikon na yung kausap mo rin. So, yung mga taong nanonood for the first time, siguro hindi nila tayo nakikita as magkakaibigan. Nakikita lang niya si Nonong Balinan niya ng probinsyano, si James Karaan niya na kupal, tapos ako, nakikita nila ako minsan.
Tingnan mo? Pinapabango niyo yung pangalan niyo.
Hindi, ganun tayo eh. So, parang alam mo na, di ba? So sa atin, alam mo na kung nagbibiro lang o nagpapatawa, so walang na-offend. So sa mga ibang taong nanonood siguro first time, hindi nila tayo nakikita as magkakaibigan. Kaya na-offend sila para kay Nono. Kawawa naman si Nono, hindi kaya ako hindi pinaparoon sa probinsyano yan, dahil ang bait-bait eh. May mga ganung tao.
Hindi mapasapog, no? Kasi sunog na.
Walang magawa. Parang ano bang
Kaso ito, papasok din naman yung argumento na, teka, public figure kayo, may mga followers kayo, at kung may batang makakanood sa'yo na followers ninyo, gagayahin kayo.
Kasalanan ng magulang yan. Tarantado ba siya?
Hindi.
Hindi. Nakikita ko si Direk Val. Bago tayo magsalita, GB. Sige, magsalita ka muna.
Hindi, sasabihin ko lang, doon sa mga ganyan, mag-isip na paano yung mga batang nanunood. May lesson dyan eh. Sipin mo, ganito pag may nagbibiroan, biroan lang. Huwag kang mapipikon. Yun ang lesson dyan sa mga tao. Kasi kung biniro natin si Nonong, tapos biglang sinabi niya, tangin na yung dalawa, kupal kayo. Hindi parang,
hindi, paano kung bata ako? Kung bata ako tapos nakakita ko ng maitim,
sasabihin ko sa'yo, kasalanan ng magulang mo yan.
Kagaya ng panonood ko ng Cool Pals. Pag nakita ko ng matabang maitim, sige, aasarin ko na kasi okay lang naman. Nakita ko dun sa panonood ng Cool Pals.
Oy, ikaw, sa'yo manggagaling yan.
Hindi, sa akin ang magagaling kapag nakita ng squatter, babatuin. Pero yung maitim, sa'yo magagaling yun. Hindi,
Bakit sa akin?
Tama,
matabang maitim yung sarili ko. Ngayon pa lang.
Hindi, yun nga maging argumento. Anong maisasagot na argumento pagdating doon?
Siguro ganito, ang maganda natin maisip dyan, habang tayo nagmamature as mga comedian as a show, siguro mapapansin din natin yung responsibilidad natin sa mga listeners, lalo na sa mga bata. Pero siguro nga, kailangan talaga, mahirap kasing i-filter tayo o i-monitor dahil earphones lang kailangan ng bata, hindi naman tayo kailangan panoorin. So parang mas mahirap siyang i-filter.
Well, technically, GB, sa logic na yan, ang bata naman kasi talaga hindi dapat naiiwan na nakikinig online. So responsibilidad na ng magulang yan. Hindi ko naman pinapasa yung responsibilidad. Yun nga lang kasi, hindi mo dapat talaga iniiwan online. Alam ko, ginagawa ng karamihan yan. Alam ko, ginagawa ng halos lahat ng magulang yan. Iniiwan lang.
Earphone. Pag naka-earphones, yun ang ano natin sa Spotify. Pag naka-earphones, kala mo nakikinig lang ng music. Kasi nasa bulsa yung cellphone eh. Tapos nakapasok lang.
Alam ko na, para mahiwalay natin yung mga bata tsaka sa matatanda na nakikinig sa atin. Sa mga matatanda po sa Spotify po kayo makinig sa amin. Sa mga bata po sa Kumu. Sa Kumu po kayo.
GB, tunog lata ka. Pero habang inaayos mo yung audio mo, gusto kong marinig naman yung, kasi habang sinasabi ko yung question kanina, napapatango si Direk Bal. Direk Bal, ano naman yung bilang director namin dito? Ano yung opinion mo dyan?
Advice.
Wala kang sound.
Which question particularly?
Yan, yung tungkol sa mga bata na kapag yung argumento na kapag yung bata ang nakapakinig, kasi sa kaya naming panindigan dun sa mga makikinig na matatanda yung tungkol sa intentions and context. Pero kapag bata na yung nakapakinig, tapos makikita nila na nag-aasaran yung inaasar nung kalbo yung maitim na okay lang. So gagawin din niya yan, i-replicate niya yan sa mga kaklase niyang may itim. So gagawin niya, maitim ka pala, ganyan-ganyan. O ano yung
Are we talking about dito sa podcast?
Dito sa podcast.
Okay. So what in all forms of media, so podcasting kasi is fairly new to Philippines, and of course I think even to the US. But it's been matagal na sa US. But okay, so in Philippine context, most forms of media, we have a regulatory board. So we have MTRCB, we have CEB. For podcasting, we don't have. So that's kasi kung let's say
wala pa nagpo-police.
Wala pa nagpo-police, so walang nagko-control. Not necessarily that they should. There should, like, kailangan may mag-police towards podcasting, but what we can do is have disclaimers or para may mga safety nets when we do the program. So it's like a mutual responsibility on both the creator and the listener. So in the first place, if say bakit hayaan ng parent na makinig yung anak niya sa isang let's say a podcast with explicit content, and then at the same time there are platforms that denies children of minor age na hindi maka-access ng explicit content. Say let's say sa platform natin, our distribution platform Anchor, we have feeling ko nag-advertise ako. Parang may marker doon na explicit yung episode, na explicit yung buong show. So that alone is merong initiative yung platform mismo to let the audience know whether it's age appropriate. Regardless na wala kang disclaimer in the podcast itself.
So, maganda tong tinanong ni Ventilador. Offensive ba ang Cool Pals, Direk Bal, based sa perspective?
Depende sa panahon, depende sa kausap.
Based sa perspective.
Nagsabi nun?
Si Ventilador.
Si Ventilador.
Ventilador, kaya nga kami nagsasabi ng pakikat na lang yon direct ball.
Oo, ayun.
Mas maganda ibigay na natin dito pa lang sa episode na to. Bonus episode to parang isabog muna sa mga mukha namin direct ball. Ano ba ang pagkakamali namin? Ano ang pwede naming improve?
Gago ka, James, baka hindi mo natatandaan tong usapan na to bukas. Baka mag-chat ka bukas na ano nangyari?
Parang after ng Pride episode. Wait lang.
So hindi na naman tayo papasok sa Lunes. Hindi naman.
Parang naririnig ko na pahinga. Parang guys, sa mga nanonood ng live, alam nyo na sa Lunes.
Pero yung freezer namin, pwede kayo pumunta.
Ikaw, Direk Bal, anong tingin mo? And also pwede mo na rin i-compare sa mga podcast sa Podcast Network Asia.
Okay. Wow. Alam mo, actually hindi ko na-expect na at the same time, parang the fact na I'm here, parang ayokong i-represent yung PNA. Like I want to be my individual self.
So, palitan mo lang yung pangalan, Direk, kasi baka nakikita mo kasi na Podcast Network Asia yung pangalan.
Balit.
Ayan.
Okay. So, so going back sa question ni Ventilador, offensive ba ang Cool Pals, Direk Bal, based sa perspective mo? Based sa perspective ko, bilang isang millennial na galit lagi sa lahat ng bagay. Diba? English yarang millennial na galit sa lahat ng bagay. Yes.
Sa'yo nang
nasa calling card ni Direk Bal. Nasa calling card ni Direk Bal yan.
Ayun. Pero diba, I mean, like,
pag pinakinggan mo kami na matagal, do you still feel the same?
Yes. I mean, coming from a perspective na, kasi, I'm coming from, from a generation gap kind of background. Na the things you guys are saying are, parang, the difference. It's common, and then in our generation we find it offensive because at the same time we have PC culture, political correctness, yun nga. So we have to be careful of what we say. Basically, everything we say is being policed. That is something na not exactly enforced to us millennials, but it's something that we see on social media, on our peers, on our friends, on our very educational system. I mean, yung mga teachers, professors na, mga bata-batang teachers imposing that kind of ideology towards us. It's especially in media. Kasi I came, my background is broadcast communication. So media is constantly changing, pabago-bago, there are offensive content. You have to be sensitive on this. So I would say, ang haba na sinabi ko, the question
James,
is just...
Sorry guys to cut you. Sorry to cut you. Pero kina Israel kasi may nakabihis ng Saudi tapos may bomba sa dibdib.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, di naman natin ginagawa yun dito sa Cool Pals.
Yan na yung don't go there. Yan na yung don't go there. Oo, yan na yun.
Wait lang. Yeah, but
pero tama si Direk Bal. Offensive tayo.
Nasabi mo ba yun, Direk Bal? Gusto ko lang ulit marinig.
Like on a personal level?
Yes.
Pwede po pagawa ng GIF dyan.
Are the Cool Pals offensive for me? Yes. But at the same time, I'm very understanding. I'm very open to understanding where you guys are coming from. And throughout episode 24 to episode 143, I'm still here. Then I'm learning. I'm learning the ropes.
Kaya nga pag may nagalit sa amin, sasabihin namin, ba't si Valentin Soria hindi na-offend?
Na-offend siya. Pero ba't nandiyan pa rin siya?
Hindi siya nagagalit.
Kaya last episode namin to. Kaya 143.
Tama.
Red Cross episode.
Sabi mo,
Akala nagbibiro tayo, no?
Hindi, sabi mo, Direk Bal, you're learning. What did you learn so far?
Na offensive ang stand-up comedy.
Pero yun naman talaga, di ba?
Hindi, totoo. We will, as a comedian.
Yeah, offensive but fine. Sabi natin.
Ako ba?
Go, GP, go.
Hindi, parang as a comedian talaga, lalo na amongst comedians, we tend to be so true to the sense na nagjo-joke lang kami sa isa't isa na sometimes we go beyond the line. Alam mo, yun lang kasi yung freedom ng comedian to joke about anything with a fellow comedian.
Gagalingan mo lang kasi.
Kahit ano talaga pwede namin pagtawanan. Oo. Hindi, ibig sabihin, yun yung minsan nawawala sa amin when we talk amongst each other, mga comedians. Yung nasa na ba tayo? Nandun na ba tayo sa tayo lang yung natatawa? O yung kasama parati sila natatawa? Kasi iba na yung level ng humor namin. We are beyond getting
Nakakalimutan
offended.
natin na may nakikinig, ano?
We are beyond getting offended. Talagang, ewan ko na lang, kung merong comedian, kung comedian ka, tapos no-offend ka, hindi ka comedian para sa akin. Lalo na if yung binato sa'yo is in joke form, yun lang dapat ang kailangan mo para hindi ka ma-offend as a comedian is if it's thrown at you as a joke. So kahit na anong sabihin nito, comedian na to, pero if it's in joke format at ang sinabihan niya ay comedian, hindi siya na-offend. Madalas matatawa pa yan. Kasi nakikita niya yung humor to it kahit na gano'n siya ka-dark. So minsan yun yung kaya we are viewed as medyo offensive because ganyan yung mga comedians talaga when we joke around to the level to see kung hanggang saan na yung papatawa ng isa't isa. Na nawawala na kami dun sa kung ano ba talaga yung acceptable ng listening public. Ganyan.
Last words, GB.
Papatulugin mo na si GB?
Hindi naman.
Wrap up na natin tong bonus episode na to.
Sa akin, siguro, when it comes to writing jokes and sharing jokes, we have a lot of maturity na kailangan, na marami pa tayong i-mature pa eh. So, itong lahat ng naririnig natin ng mga feedback, very much welcome yan sa atin because that will help us with our craft, knowing our audience. Sino na bang audience natin ngayon? Is it the same people as a Direk Bal? Or mga kasing age group ba rin ba natin? So kasi nag-a-adjust naman ng comedy eh. So dati, 80s, 90s, we can joke about rape, we can joke about suicide, pero now hindi na pwede. We can joke about yung mga ngongo. Ngayon hindi na pwede. We can try, we can set it up differently, do it differently, just to push the boundaries to see how far we can go as comedians. Pero again, we will try because it is in us to try to make people laugh however we can. So when people get offended, when nakita natin, we will adjust and we will continue to see kung saan namin mapatawa ang tao. Never to offend. Ang ano namin is never to offend. Ang mission namin is never to offend. It's always to entertain and make people laugh. So hanggang sa nandun lang tayo palagi. Yun lang naman.
Sa akin naman, at binuo natin tong Cool Pals para i-push yung boundaries kung hanggang saan tayo po pwede. Dahil nga at this age, hindi mo alam kung ano na ba yung nakaka-offend, ano na ba yung censored. So, ang tao naman at ang mga comedians, hindi naman yan fixed sa isang values. May pagkakataon lahat ng tao magpalit ng values at magpalit ng opinion sila based on the current situation. So, sa atin sa Cool Pals, binuo natin to as a stand-up comedian Kaya ginagawa natin to as a stand-up comedian. Ano ba ang ginagawa ng stand-up comedian? Ginagawa natin to to push the boundaries of ano ba yung nakakatawa. So as long as nakakatawa, sa tingin natin nakakatawa, yun ang ginagawa natin. Pero kung may time na may ma-offend at may magsabi at may magpadala, kaya nga dito sa bawat episodes kapag may nagpadala ng essay, binabasa natin yung essay at ina-acknowledge natin kung meron tayong mali. So, ina-acknowledge natin doon sa time na binitawan natin yung joke, natawa tayo, pero at the same time, kapag merong na-offend, sinasabi natin yung side natin. Ina-address natin lahat. So, hindi tayo, ang values hindi siya open, hindi siya closed book. Open book siya. Pwede siyang sulatan ng kahit na sino. As long as open yung mga tao na magbago. Katulad natin. Meron tayong sari-sariling opinion kung ano nakakatawa, pero open tayo kung nabaguhin yung mga bagay na naaayon sa kung ano yung tinatanggap ng lipunan. So, para po sa Pinas Forward, hindi, joke lang. Iba na yun. Yun ang ano.
Skip mo yung kanina eh.
Nagpre-prepare na si James sa friendship nila ni DJ Lunyo. Nararamdaman ko na.
Ikaw, magagano tayo? Muman.
Last words?
Last words.
Oo, andito lang naman kami guys para magpatawa, hindi para manakit ang tao. Yun naman yung totoo.
Okay. Nonong.
Sa lahat ng mga sinabi ni James, ni GB, ni Muman, ni Direk Valentin, that is bloody true. Maraming salamat. Sa inyong lahat.
Maraming salamat sa sumuporta ng Cool Pals.
Ikaw, hindi. Si Direk Val, para mas maganda, gusto ko kasi mas manggaling sa mas nakaka-advance na. Hindi, yung mas recent na generation, yung opinion, dahil yun ang mas relevant ngayon na na boses.
Right. For me, my last words would be always have the initiative to educate yourself. May access tayo lahat to online, information, age of information at tayo. So, information is in the palm of our hands. And of course, really, really appreciate how this show is approaching these kind of discussions. How you guys are very open-minded with very sensitive topics, and being open-minded with I really hope na whatever this is not just for the sake of the trend of political correction or PC culture or the trend of racism. I hope na it's for the sake of learning, for the sake of educating yourself over important issues that hindi lang siya trend. It's matter. Lives are at stakes here, and human rights as well. And and it's very important, very big step towards to understanding sensitive topics like this one. So,
thank you, Direk.
Salamat, Direk.
You are always our moral compass in the show.
Pero at the same time, hindi natin sinasabi na mag-hold back tayo sa kahit anong sasabihin natin.
Tama.
Comedy will still push boundaries.
Tama yan.
At nandyan pa rin naman yung mga listeners natin para sabihin sa atin na, uy, sobra na yan.
Don't go there.
Pero yun, kaya sinasabi namin to, kaya kami nagganto ng episode dahil last time na namin mag-YouTube this time.
Maraming salamat po sa lahat.
This is a farewell episode, everyone.
Kung alam
sa
nyo
YouTube.
lang.
Sa YouTube.
Sa Lunes, sa Facebook ang last.
Maabangan nyo pa rin kami sa ngayong buwan sa Kumu and of course sa Spotify. Lagi kaming nandyan. At abangan nyo lang sa September kung ano magiging pinakamalaking
Ayos na.
announcement.
Saka
Sabi
sana
ni
manatili
Los-
sa August 29.
Yes, August 29. So doon, talagang putang ina. Sige, lahat ng sinabi ni Direk Bal, pumuta namin.
Manood ka, Direk, ha?
Of course.
Yeah.
August 29, Cool Pals Stand-Up Special. Yung link nasa Cool Pals fan page. Sure.com is our partner to our show. Sila ang mag-stream ng show natin via Zoom.
Oo. Kasi nga, syempre, ang comedy na naman, nagsasabi ng ano eh, ng mga nasa utak natin na hindi natin kayang sabihin. So, kaya yun ang nagiging relief ng mga tao na nanonood. So, sa mga makikinig nito, ito ang bonus episode natin para sa mga nagsasabi kasing ano eh, mga nagsasabi kasi na offensive ang Cool Pals, offensive ang ano, kaya may mga bumibitaw sa atin, pero ito ang aming side. Ito ang aming side. Sana pakinggan niyo at maging open-minded kayo dito. At let's not promote cancel culture. Yon. Kaya mula dito sa Pasay, GB.
Mula dito sa Dupax del Sur.
Nonong.
Mula dito sa Nabali. Cheers.
Muman.
Mula dito sa Cavite, guys.
And of course, Direct Bal.
Mula dito sa Pasay.
Hanggang sa susunod na tawanan, dito lang sa
Cool Pals.
Dalawang episode ginawa natin.
Isa pa!
Salamat sa lahat
episode
ng nasa YouTube. Ventilador, you're the best.
Hanggang Wednesday na.
Hanggang Wednesday na tayo pa.
Hanggang Wednesday na para pahinga tayo lahat.
Siguro no, naisip ko lang no, kung magpapahinga tayo ng 1 week, ibang demonyo tayo pagbalik. Ano?
After party.
Nung may nagre-request pa ng after party, putang ina nyo.
Sige. End ko na yung live.
Thank you, Direct Bal.
Salamat, Direk Bal.